Complicated derivative, Jill.
You know, I really wish they'd let us play music up here. Make these long trips go by a lot faster.
It's against regulations.
Yeah, I never understood that.
They just don't want us having a dance party when a proximity alert goes off.
See, that's a dumb reason. Because we'd already be on our feet, ready for action.
Greetings and felicitations.
Hello and welcome to Shore Leave number 10.
There's
Hey,
more
guys.
to these.
Peace for the French in the audience.
Oh,
Hey,
that's almost like in Spanish, Dieds.
Ooh, we're multilingual.
Very nice.
And today we have Scotty R37. How are you doing today?
I'm tickety boo, Jill. How are you doing?
Wonderful. How about you, Tony?
I'm waking up with some Energon and probably be wetting my whistle with some mead. Cracked my voice last night a little bit, performing for people in the wee hours in the morning.
Right, you had a live stream last night.
I
How'd that
did. I
go?
did. I did. And it was
Oh, that's fun.
It was fun. It was fun.
Great. That's good news. And also, hello to everyone in the chat. We have Mark Harkness. He says, Wrigley's Pleasure Planet? We're like Disney World, but we emphasize fun in our fundamentals, not mental. And Joseph Dredd says, Hail Star Trek fans.
Hail,
Hey,
Judge Dredd,
Mhm.
Guardian of Super, or is it Mega City One?
Mark Harkness says, so Admiral Teague did a watch of Strange New Worlds. Yeah, exactly. It was like watching a loved one setting himself on fire to see if it will hurt. It did. I imagine it did. You're watching something that's not really Star Trek. That's
He
gonna-
really wants to go broadsides with the Doomsday Machine. He's put himself in front of the line of fire. That Admiral Teague just going, I'm going straight into that.
Yeah, I'm not bothering. I know it's just not going to be right. As much as it, even if it's trying it, I don't know. You didn't watch it, did you, Scotty? You said you're going to.
no, I tried to, but it wasn't available on the terrestrial television on demand. I wanted to give it a
that's
go.
good.
It's got Star Trek in the title, so I'll give the season premiere a go when it's available.
Well,
but that's because I want to watch it. I wouldn't waste time watching something that I already know that I dislike. Because there's just, I don't know. Even if you are giving it eyeballs and spreading reviews, you're attracting attention to it. I just recently saw that they renewed Velma for a second season, even though it was demonstrably trash. And so I'm of a mind that the more attention you draw to something that you don't like, the more of it you're going to get, which is just going to make you angry. So I don't participate in those reindeer games.
It is an angry thing because they take Space Ghost off of what was HBO Max just to make room for that. Like, that's my thought on it. It's like Space Ghost for that.
Well, and they did. They released. I just found out, and I started going through the legacy sequel, if you will, of Clone High, and Clone High retained a lot of the charm that it had before. So I was happy with that. That was a pleasant surprise. So if you are a Clone High fan, I recommend checking out the new season of that.
They did.
So it's just as good as it used to be.
And it addresses
they watered
the
down
time.
JFK. They watered down JFK.
Not from what I saw.
Whenever I watched it, I was just like, yeah, it's JFK, but it's like diet JFK.
Huh. Well, did you enjoy it otherwise? Aside
It was
from
okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was good nostalgia bait, and it, dinged the bells where it needed to be dinged. It didn't do so with thunderous applause or flying colors, but it did it.
Are there any other science fiction aspects to that show other than everybody being clones?
No, it's actually more. It's like political humor more than sci-fi humor. It's like a mixed bag.
It's kind of Like when it originally premiered, it was a parody of the high school comedies of the late 90s, early 2000s. And so it plays off of those tropes. But in terms of the new one, they do sort of address things that you could say in the early 2000s that you can't say now. Like even one of the clones is Christopher Columbus, but he goes by a different name because Christopher Columbus has been canceled. He wants to distance himself from his Papa clone. And so there were kind of like just nods. It's kind of the same way as other TV shows. It doesn't have a particular slant. It makes fun of everything.
It's like Gandhi's the cool kid.
That could be
well,
fun.
but Gandhi's not
Gandhi
in the
is
new one.
cool though.
No, but Gandhi was an HD guy in the original, and that was rumored to be part of the reason why they never made a second season back in the day. And so now they just omitted him by having the character be played by a turkey on a fire hydrant, which was kind of cute.
Oh, so they did address it, even though he wasn't. They did address his absence.
Yeah, somewhat. But
yeah,
my favorite part of that show will always be Principal Scudworth and Mr. Butlertron. So
yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. I'm glad you enjoyed a thing.
I did.
Behold!
Go ahead.
The Panama. Sorry.
Mark Harkness says, I'm striking my negative comments. Please disregard. This is a happy time.
A joyous occasion.
Even if you did take it away, I still see it on StreamYard, so I don't know what you deleted.
Yes.
And hello to Edge of Time.
Jill knows
Hail
all.
to Edge of
Jill
Time.
sees all.
Scotty R37 says, cheers to Mark. However, if I remember the rules, Fridays can get filthy. Yep, that's true. And that's why we talked about it. Filthy Friday, indeed. So Scotty is right. It does have Star Trek as the label. I will agree that much.
Kind of like
they own the right to destroy it, and they are doing it.
Well, what was it? There was something that you said that was really awesome. A couple weeks ago we were talking, and it was like Alex Kurtzman doesn't own Star Trek, so he's changing it into something that he can own.
Yes,
which I thought was really
insightful.
Kurtzman.
All right, if you need a bucket, let me know, pal. I'll send one over.
I don't need any bucket. I need to not be as aware of Alex Kurtzman's existence, which means I need a fogged perspective, as it were. Ah, there's that wonderful sound. Oh, maybe.
I shall be merciful and quick.
Be as merciful and quick. Yeah. That's my Gorn.
And hello to Franco Walker.
Franco.
And Ariba Bell, he says, what's up, Plessy Nation?
What's up, Barry Bevelle?
Glory.
Girl's Random Thoughts is here too. He says, hey, everyone.
Hey.
Also, for the low price of $20 to Pop's fundraiser, I'll give the timestamps of when we got a face reveal from Jill. And I have shown myself before on Cardinal Sin's channel a couple years ago, whenever Cardinal Sin reached 700 subscribers. He had a Halloween stream, and I had on my TOS uniform that day.
Oh.
I tip my hat back to you, sir. Is it okay if it is not a trilby?
Trophy for what?
Trilby.
Trilby.
Oh, trophy.
Sorry, my voice is off. It's cracked, so whenever I do certain voices, it may sound like I'm saying something else. I do apologize.
Could you read this for me, Tony?
And let me just look at this here. By the way, another idea I heard them tossing around for Star Trek Enterprise for Shatner is to appear the unseen ship's cook, James B. Kirk. Is it James Bilateral Kirk, perhaps? Making sure he didn't get killed would explain Agent Daniels' job on ship. Ugh.
What's going on there?
No, they were in talks on Enterprise. There were talks to get Shatner in as the cook.
Like for season 4?
Or 4 or 5. They were for season 4 and season 5. They were in talks with Shatner to have him come back as Kirk or another character. But I
Kirk,
think I do recall what Mark is saying in terms of being a cameo
Kirk
as
being
the
the
cook.
ship's cook. Oh my god.
Well, if not Kirk, then Shatner would play him.
Okay.
That
But
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, seeing
No.
this, the thing is,
like
if
100
I see
years
Shatner,
before.
if I see Shatner, I'm going to expect to see Kirk. Shatner is Kirk. That's my Kirk.
Well, it's one of those things that I think was toyed around with, but exactly for what you're saying, they didn't really pursue it that way. And I think Shatner, when confronted with it, was like, no, I don't want to be the cook. But also in like Skyfall at the end, Albert Finney plays the groundskeeper for Bond's childhood home. And the original thought was, let's get Sean Connery to play that role. And then people were like, you know what? That would probably really mess with people when you have Sean Connery in a James Bond movie and he's not playing James Bond. So let's not do that.
Well, we'll never know what kind of weird things they had planned for season 4 and 5 for Enterprise because Les Moonves killed it, and we never got to actually see it. And hello today to Fiona M.
Hey, Fiona.
Hail, Fiona M.
Paula Beater Gaming is also here. And also Dalek451.
Dalek!
I gotta make sure every once in a while I'll need to send out some links just in case.
Dust off the egg beater and the plunger. You are summoned, I'm assuming.
I am summoning. Yeah, no, he didn't have to, but if he wants, more than welcome. Send that now. Could you read this from Susan Dolan, Scotty?
Sure. Antiderivative Jill, Mr. Stark does a hellacious animated Joker that sounds just like Mark Hamill.
Oh.
Is this a face you would say no to? How about a face that you would say, please no, I have a family?
That is actually really good.
Animated series Joker is pretty great. But apparently he's not going to ever do it again without
Kevin, right.
Without, yeah. So that's over.
I appreciate the compliment, Susan Dolan.
So it's nice that we have you.
Back. Huh?
So it's nice that we have you because Mark Hamill won't do it anymore.
Right.
Paula Beater Gamer says, I only watched Velma through Nux of VTuber and only to enjoy watching die inside watching it. Yeah. Poor reviews are sometimes more fun than the actual poor content itself.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around how certain properties are decided to be renewed. Like with terrestrial television, they still have ratings and Nielsen ratings, but when it comes to HBO Max or Netflix, or like, I don't even know how the viewing numbers are released to see if it was successful. Because, yeah, although Fiona does have a comment in the chat later on saying that it was always going to be 2 seasons, they made them concurrently. So who knows? I just don't like to. I don't want to talk about or support anything that I have no interest in seeing, because if you see something that you don't like and you start banging on pots and pans saying, look at how bad this is, then a lot of people might look at how bad it is, and that could boost how the people who make it are like, well, maybe people will hate watch it, but we still get our money. That was the thing that Kevin Smith said about the Masters of the Universe reboot. It was like, as long as people are watching, it doesn't matter if they like it or not, but if it's getting traction, then our job is done.
And so that makes sense for something you've never cared about to begin with. But if it's a property that you've loved your entire life and they've trashed it, then sometimes you can't help but look at the fire and say, oh man, this sucks.
Well, my soul is already fragile enough to waste time spent on something that I loathe anyway. Like, I'll never give Discovery the time of day again.
No, me neither. After season 2, I finally was done.
Yeah, like I walked away, and I don't think that anyone should follow that path. If you don't want to watch it, please don't, which seems to be, an outdated philosophy. But if you enjoy self-flagellation, then here's your whip.
Well, I have Bird of Prey 5, and he does some amazing reviews of the filth for me, and he does it in fascinating detail because he goes through every single plot point and every logical inconsistency. So he does a great job.
And Bird of Prey does great reviews when he does review it. It's please be good, please be good. Oh, why did you do that? It isn't walking into a place being like, I don't like the music here, your food sucks, and I don't like the drinks. Can I have a table for one, please? It's like, so why are you here again? Why don't you just why?
Right, exactly. He sees that it's called Star Trek, and he's like, "Are you going to be Star Trek today? I sure hope so." Oh,
Exactly,
I see
and
that
that
did
sort of
not happen.
That earnest sort of intent, I appreciate.
Yeah, me too. Ariba Bell says, "Scotty, how wonderfully old school. If you don't like it, don't watch it." Wow, what a concept!
Wow,
I'm a simple boy.
Wow. Oh yeah, duh.
Wes Cagle says, "I haven't watched any of the shows you're talking about. I haven't watched anything on television for about 15 to 20 years, outside of NCIS. And I stopped watching that."
When Michael Weatherly left. Bull himself?
I paused for the theme song.
I know. I was considering singing it, but I was like, nah.
No, you sing enough. Thank you. Hello, Kapla. Bird of Prey 5.
Kapla, Bird of Prey 5. We were just talking about you.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. I haven't watched Strange New Worlds, but I listened to Bird of Prey 5's review. Go ahead and go watch it. It's great. I apparently they've given Spock even more emotions.
Of course they have.
Completely misunderstanding that he chose the Vulcan path when he was 7 years old. But never mind that.
I think they're trying to match it up with The Cage, though.
The Cage, where he smiled at a flower?
Yes. A vibrating flower.
The women? That's
the women!
It doesn't...
Hey, I'm just saying what I think their intent is. I'm not approving or disapproving. Heavens, geez, I'm not subscribed to the newsletter or anything.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Just listening to the description of the episode. I'm glad I didn't see it.
Star Trek shouldn't be a journey to the past unless that's an episode where they actually journey to the past. So I've already seen everything important in that era of the 23rd century.
The time travel?
The time travel, the godlike entities, the supercomputers with an agenda. We need more.
But I love the supercomputers with an agenda. Those are my weakness.
I know. But I want to see some more engagement with the other spacefaring races. Really put some more meat into the Federation potatoes.
Yeah, that would be really great. That is how Deep Space Nine started. Until it became about the Dominion War, they were learning about other beings in the Gamma Quadrant. And once the war started, aside from that planet that they tried to destroy with the pandemic that they started on it, we really didn't see much of other Gamma Quadrant aliens.
Right. I think it would be because it's a return to form in a way it is, and I know there's always going to be that time travel episode or that erroneous godlike entity or computer episode. But at the end of the day, we're in the 23rd, sometimes 24th century. Let's see what matters at that particular point in the timeline. Let's see what's going on.
Well, and I think it's somewhat of a fool's errand to go back and see things of a time period that we've already seen. Like Enterprise was interesting because it was 100 years before, and I thought that there was some good development.
There was a degree of separation. You're right.
And with STD and SNW, I just think it's like I know everything I need to know about this period, and considering that the designs don't look anything like it, the people don't act anything like it. If you want to move past the end of Deep Space Nine, I would watch that with a little bit more of an open mind. But I've already seen the 23rd century Kirk era to the extent that I want to, and I appreciate it as being sort of a time capsule, not only as a television show, but also in the world itself.
Yes, I agree with that completely. Well
I
done.
got an expert here who knows a thing or two about tropes in science fiction. Go ahead, Rick. Time travel is dumb. Okay, all right, moving on.
Agreed. But it can be fun sometimes. But you have to realize that then you're entering the realm of science fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Susan Dolan says to Tony Stark, "Do you mean to tell me that the Space Ghost, assuming that's coast to coast, got dumped for Thelma? Say it ain't so."
I'm afraid so, Susan. That's right. The only way you can watch Space Ghost coast to coast, and yours truly, is to watch it on your DVDs. I hate Velma. I'm not Rappaport. I'm surrounded by idiots.
I believe you showed your face on one of my streams, says Dalek451. Not sure if that was by accident or not. I don't remember. Did I? I don't remember that day.
Lemon.
It doesn't happen often. Fiona M says Velma was always good to have 2 seasons. Oh, was always going to have 2 seasons. They were both greenlit at the same time. This isn't uncommon for animated projects. Don't know anyone who likes it, even
That's
ironically.
the point that Ranker Steve brought up to one of my shows is sometimes these productions are not just greenlit, but done and just on the shelf years in advance, and they just pull them off and they play it off like, okay, yeah, this is ready to go. We just got this hot off the press. And we figured then that Velma was going to be of this caliber, and I stick by that theory. I think that's what it is.
It's really so unfortunate because that lady who made it, what's her name?
Mindy
She
Kaling.
was on The Office, and I really liked her on that show. She was a good actress. And to see her just degrade into this kind of foolishness is
bring back the awkward.
Unfortunate.
I just don't understand how you can have a Scooby-Doo show without Scooby-Doo.
You can't.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Like, gee, Scoob, where you at, man?
Yeah, it makes no sense. Bird of Prey 5 says to Gorilla's Random Thoughts, $20 for Jill's face reveal timestamp sold. Wow. Wow, and it's true. If I go to Gifts and Go, it says $20 for the timestamps. Gorilla knows. Nice. Well, I hope it was worth it. I don't know if it was that good for $20. I'm just taking back shots of alcohol, and then I turn it off again.
So if you want to know what Jill is drinking in what would have been real time at the moment of said timestamp, $20.
It was Amaretto. Spoilers. Wes Cagle says never watched Coast to Coast, but watched the actual show when I was a kid. I didn't even know there was an actual Space Ghost.
Yeah.
I only knew about Coast to Coast.
2 kids and a monkey.
Good call, Kegel.
It's Coast to Coast and good. Yeah, it's good. It was a talk show on Cartoon Network. It was fun.
I'm hearing Hudson from Aliens as a descendant of Shaggy came over.
Bird, I'll get them to you.
Thank you, Wes Cagle. I practice some of these impersonations, and then some of them just come to me. I don't know, man. I guess I'm a mockingbird of sorts. Or a see and say. I'm more of a see and say.
Can you read this one, Tony?
Wes Cagle from Susan Dolan says, at Space Ghost, Coast to Coast was an animated parody of like The Tonight Show and Letterman. He would interview live guests who would be on a TV. It was more, quote, adult, end quote, but not crude, but funny. It was addendum. It was crude and funny. That's what made it a good selling point. Yeah.
It reminded me of it reminded me of the old Max Headroom interview show.
It was very. I think the trick behind Space Ghost. This is one of the things that a lot of people don't know. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Space Ghost. They would do the interviews to the celebrities in a different room with and then they would write the show around it. So they would take clips of the entire interviews, and most of the time they would bring them out of context and just write the show around it to make it as silly and as loose as possible, to where you're sitting up there and you're watching it at like late night going, what the hell are they going on about?
But that's why I sort of preferred the Max Headroom version, because Max was on the TV and it was done in real time.
Right.
And it was a lot more acerbic towards the celebrities. So while I appreciate Space Ghost Coast to Coast, I'll take Max Headroom any day.
I love that episode with Hanson, back when Hanson was a thing. You guys remember Hanson? That was your days, right? He was just like, so what is America's favorite boy band doing all the way out here on Ghost Planet? And they're all just like, I don't know, man, this is pretty silly. What's
Well,
yours?
if it was memorable, it had to be good.
Yes, Blip.
Nice. Fiona says streaming numbers are kept more secretive than Doomcock's real face. Samba TV gives a good idea. Parrot Analytics is a delusional number that network executives use to keep their jobs. Right, because we don't really know what the numbers are. Only the streaming services themselves know how many people are watching their shows and how often, and all of that data. We'd have to trust them to give us accurate information. Hello to Matt G. He says,
Matt G.
Hello, Matt G. How are you, my friend?
Matt G. And oh, hey, Raquel SSG. She says, hello, y'all. Just listening while getting some work done.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Antiderivative Jill's amazing radio program. We're happy to provide the background noise you need to focus and get it done.
Yes, good luck in whatever you're working on. Mark Harkness says, as true fans, we should suggest good alternatives to trash instead of disco. Watch Space Battleship Yamada, $21.99.
Yes, absolutely. I concur.
The setting is bleak, but the characters you care about, they're working to save Earth. I'll see if that's in my list. But I just got 2 good reviews for it right now, so I'll put it in.
But yeah, Mark, I agree with wholeheartedly. And even if there is something that happens to be sort of in the zeitgeist or made currently, it's like, well, if you like that, let me introduce you to something better so that you have a good time.
Oh, that's anime. I really have not gotten into anime, but we'll see.
Well, the thing I like about the Space Battleship Yamato is it takes a lot of like real world nautical concepts from like the diesel punk era of our development and just turns them into starships. So like the Yamato is still capable of going like full broadsides like the World War II variant of our real history did. And
that's great.
Pacific. It's the aesthetic is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
That sounds nice. Anything that when fantasy emulates reality, it can be fun. Wes Cagle says to me that you mentioned the Dominion War. What's everyone's feelings about DS9 becoming all about the war? I enjoyed it, but I get the feeling that's not the case for most fans.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, but sometimes I like the exploration and the discovery and the science fiction, and we kind of missed out on some of that just by delving into the war. So that was the sacrifice for the war drama that we ended up getting. That was still pretty good.
Well, there was when First Contact came out, there was an interview with James Cromwell, and he was talking about the nature of Star Trek and how and he specifically says Star Trek is different because it's not Star Wars. It's not about people fighting. It's about exploration and discovery and learning and science and stuff. And so if you want to see space battles, you can probably find that a lot of places. But Star Trek is more of a mind expansion show. And obviously this is publicity tours, so he's pumping it up and showing the differences. But I always liked that, and as Deep Space Nine was in the later seasons a war show, I like that was sort of, if you want to see Star Trek at war, Deep Space Nine did it. And I don't necessarily, the only other thing that I would have taken in terms of space war would have been, it would have been cool to see the Romulan War in Enterprise had they gone in that direction. And I think Manny Cotto, the showrunner for season 4, was planning on doing that for season 5.
And I think you can do that. You don't have to do a whole big war that encompasses the entire season, but you can do maybe a couple episodes of war drums happening, and then then there's some kind of resolution.
Like a Year of Hell kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Susan Dolan says, for your throat, try mashing an aspirin into a teaspoon of honey. My mom always did that for me when my throat was sore.
Well, I'm meeting you halfway there. I am drinking some homemade mead, which is honey wine, and I took one baby aspirin about an hour ago to lubricate everything up. I'm going back and forth between it and water, but I appreciate the herbal remedy, and thank you.
Great. Tiki of Doom says, I recently played the Discovery section of Star Trek Online. It was just like the show. Starfleet officers crying and talking about their trauma.
Oh, God, no. Please say it isn't so.
Are you kidding me? That is outrageous.
Kurtzman got his fingers in everything. My God, man.
But can you sufficiently avoid anything past 2005 when you're playing Star Trek Online? I still haven't tried it.
Yeah, it's called pulling out some good Star Trek games like Elite Force and Bridge Commander.
Yeah. Okay. Eugene Bird says, in the original Scooby-Doo cartoon, I'd rather have married Velma than Daphne. But she would have bagged me something awful.
Yeah, I was always a Velma fan.
Scoob, why you tied up to the bed for, man? He took everything from me.
Gorilla says I'm beautiful, so it's worth $50. Thank you, Gorilla.
Beautiful, it's true.
Mark Harkness says, now I'm hearing Hudson from Aliens as a descendant of Shaggy. Game over, man. Game over.
Sir, what are we looking for? A talking dog. Excuse me, what? A talking dog. Bug hunt. I got a question for you, sir. How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit? You watch that shit, Hudson. Sorry. Carry on.
No, it's a good movie, man.
I love that movie.
You don't have to apologize for an impression, even if
Beanie
I don't actually have it. Yeah, exactly. Why are you doing that?
Hey, Harry. Did you get that thing I sent you? Sorry.
And no, well, you had a reason to do that because Fiona said, also a fan of Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Love Harvey Birdman.
Ha ha! Birdman, get your sweet ass in here.
And Jedi Bill's here. Hello, Jedi Bill. How are you
Hey,
doing today?
Bill. How are you? I saw your greeting, and now we're getting to you.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you, brother.
Miss Cagle says, I used to watch all those cheap Hanna-Barbera cartoons as a kid, like Space Ghost and the Herculoids.
Oh, I'm not familiar with the Herculoids. Are they strong?
Me neither.
They're strong and durable.
Oh.
They're able to withstand the full might of his wrist ray.
And Anonymous says, Heidi ho.
Howdy ho! It's not even Christmas yet.
I know. Well, there is Christmas in July, but the best part about Christmas in July is you don't have to get presents.
No, you just have to listen to show tunes that you thought you'd wait an entire year before you hear again.
I love Christmas music.
Well, we can agree to disagree. I love Halloween music.
There's like 12 songs.
I don't know. My Halloween playlist is like 500 plus songs.
Whoa.
I go back to like the 40s with it because I'm a Fallout geek as well. So sometimes whenever I get that Fallout niche in October and I'm decorating my settlements up with jack-o'-lanterns and stuff, I'm like, yeah, we're playing this.
Gorilla's Random Thought says, for $200 to Pop Culture's fundraiser, I'll find a picture on the internet and claim it's Doomcock.
Well, you would not be the first, nor will you be the last.
I know, so many idiots do that. Sorry. Subscribe to Bird of Prey 5. Yes, thank you, Stream Elements. Wes Cagle says to me, the Space Battleship Yamada remake is a masterclass in how to do a beloved series. At least the first season. The second was a bit disappointing. And Raquel says, anime is good. No propaganda crap.
Now,
And,
Raquel,
yeah,
are you
fair enough.
familiar with some of the older animes that played like... Are you familiar with the little short that somebody did about the nuclear attack on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, like in visceral detail? It was political. The anime did have a political protest to it. It could have just been an art piece. It was very, very bleak and disturbing. And
not Hiroshima.
Oh, well, Hiroshima. Yeah, we get it. Yeah, okay, Scotty. Low-hanging fruit. Here. Let me just hold
What do you mean low-hanging fruit?
Let me hold the branch down a little bit lower so you can get
All
a
right,
couple
I'll be back
more
in a
off
second.
of it. Yes, Hiroshima was bleak and destructive. I get it. But somebody animated this in the anime format, and it was absolutely heart-wrenching.
Yes, I do know that anime must have a whole slew of amazing stories and constructive things to add to.
Love you, Scotty. I don't know where you went, but I'm sorry if I...
No, not at all. Not at all. I just had to go get myself a cola.
A Nuka-Cola?
Yes.
Okay.
Quantum.
Ooh, glowy.
It's in blue for a while.
Fiona says, that really wasn't a bad show. We even built a custom Raspberry Pi to play 10-bit files. To Mark Harkness.
I have a Raspberry Pi that runs a Super Nintendo emulator on it. And
that's awesome.
That's its whole purpose. And I actually, I soldered a port in for a controller and everything. So whenever I want to play my Super and I don't want to pull out my actual Super, I just plug that bad boy into the TV.
I have an old Wii that I put all of NES, SNES up to N64.
That was a good
emulate.
era for backward compatible Nintendo ROMs. Was the Wii and the Wii U era.
Yeah, it's perfect, and it still works.
You can just pop that bad boy in a SIM card, and you're ready to rock.
Mm-hmm. And that I do. And Bird of Prey 5 says, best $20 I spent in weeks.
Everything charged still on this.
Why not? It isn't anime isn't full of propaganda yet, says Wes Cagle. The woke mob is trying their best. At least in the companies that do the English subtitles and the dubs. Wow. Yeah,
well,
subtitles.
I got one thing to say.
It's messed up to misrepresent the subtitles like that.
The day that Goku becomes that friendly is the day I'm going to be really, really mad.
Fiona says it's funny given our current state of technology that the Federation didn't have visual ship-to-ship technology in the 23rd century. If they kept to canon, it would have severely limited the visual potential. And can you read this, Scotty?
Yeah.
By Susan Dolan?
Says to West Cagle, Space Ghost, the Herculoids, Birdman, the Mighty Mightor, Samson and Goliath, Dino Boy, and the Galaxy Trio is how I spent my Saturday mornings.
Man.
That sounds like a great Saturday morning.
I spent my Saturday mornings with the Joes, Transformers, Masters of the Universe, and then later on into like my latter childhood, Goof Troop, DuckTales.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah,
that's where I come in.
Oh man, a Goofy movie is one of the best movies ever that Disney ever brought out, and I love doing the bit with "I'm all alone, just sit in the boat, all alone." Yeah, I guess so. No, Max, we're going fishing. I love it. It's just like, yeah, I guess so. That was a good movie. The second movie wasn't so good, but
well, it was a great way to bring in some '90s attitude to the classic. Goofy remained exactly the same. That was the funniest part.
Exactly. Goofy was still a klutz, still had his heart in the right place, but he was ultimately and completely clumsy. And the perfect cast, this is the thing I like about the perfect cast, is like the perfect cast is Goofy knowing that he has no center of equilibrium, that his balance is shit. And so he worked day and night to throw that line out, knowing his body's bobbing and weaving like it does. The perfect cast is a representation of taking a weakness and making it a strength. And a lot of people don't see that, but I see it.
I love that movie, but I never analyzed the perfect cast.
You don't have as much free time as I do.
I guess not. I just thought, oh hey, he did that during the dance. It made a good dance for the concert. Mark Harkness said, for more fun, watch the 1974 original of SBY first, and then see how they actually improved most things in the modern update. Cool. Does anybody know Graveyard of the Fireflies?
That is the anime, the short of the Hiroshima footage.
Oh, that. Okay. Well, now I was listening. Fiona says the themes in some of the better animes are so complex that I can spend months wrestling with their meanings. I haven't seen a Western TV show do that for some time.
Oh, anime goes deep.
Mm-hmm. And Dalek451 says, you must be talking about the Ghibli film called Grave of the Fireflies. Yes, very bleak.
Mm-hmm.
That I will add to my list. I definitely have to see
it. I mean, well, not to spoil too much, but if you're an animal person like I am, I'm a cat dad. Whenever the bomb goes off, they pull no punches with showing just how many different iterations of, just say, carbon-based life vaporize. And
somehow, oh man,
yeah, that's not.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from, but a long time ago, I have been not desensitized, but I understand that it is fictional, and so if they're adding emotional weight to the situation by showing the innocence of just wildlife dying, the same argument sort of came up with Guardians 3, and I'm just like, no, I understand it's fiction, and if you do want to sort of play with my emotions in that way by showing innocence being mistreated, then it's obviously for an artistic reason. I'm not going to take offense. Anyway, I've seen so many people die in film and fiction that seeing a bunny, like I'm going to watch Watership Down.
Watership Down's amazing.
I love, Watership Down is impeccable.
So when fictional characters bite it, if I like the fictional characters and I feel bad about them biting it, then it's like that's why they died in the fiction, is to make my emotional response happen.
I just think it's a different chord that's being struck.
Yes.
Whenever it's like in Watership Down, it was, this group of rabbits going through the horrors of nature and then dealing with a megalomaniacal tyrant and then dealing with predators. And then
first they were driven out of their home by human construction.
Right. But when you put in a puppy being blasted away by an atomic weapon that we dropped, that's the different chord.
That hundreds of thousands of millions of people are dead, but not Fido. Leave
Yes,
Fido
Fido,
alone.
yes.
Well,
And
yeah,
the
it
kids, and
hurts
they have
us
kids,
more.
They show kids do it. They show
I-
kids dissolving. They show little kids dissolving. It's.
And I laughed and I laughed.
Yeah, when it happens to adults, it doesn't hurt as much as when it happens to puppies and children.
Yeah.
But like in RoboCop 2, you see a child of 12 or 13 years old getting shot to death. And it's like, oh, okay, but he was a
Maximum
bad
Overdrive,
guy.
you see a kid get run over by a steamroller. What's your point?
My point is that you do see these things for shock value in certain fiction. And so I understand it emotionally affecting people, but that was the purpose of the storytelling. So
Well, right. And
so it's not
only part-
something that traumatizes me. It's just like, wow, you went there. Okay. It's
I
like
was
when we
like,
watched that UFO episode where Straker's kid died. And I was like, you
Right.
went there? Oh my stars.
They did, and the only part of the Quantum Leap episode that I really cried at, and for the episode we watched last night, the White on Black on Fire, was the little kid who got shrapnel and was trying to get help for that.
Mm-hmm. And that is like, and that was for, if you'd like to sort of go through a tough episode of Quantum Leap with Jill and I, it's over on the Phantasmagorium. But the purpose of that was to show the prejudice of the mother, saying that she didn't want a Caucasian lady assisting with her wounded child.
Right.
And so there is an emotional punch that children were being harmed during the Watts riots. And then there was also the elevation of certain people's prejudices based on race that was the spark of the uprising in the first place.
I could consign to you being right that when things are done for the sake of shock value, it's for the shock value.
Mm-hmm.
But it isn't going to make my stomach turn any less whenever it happens.
Oh, agreed. But also, like, I haven't seen Guardians 3. I've heard and
I have.
I don't know about spoilers for it. I'm not sure, so I'll try and be light on it. But you sort of get more of a sympathy to Rocket's character because of what he's gone through and the horrific nature, like something that was alluded to in Guardians 1. You see it, and it makes you understand, and it also elevates the villain to a point of he did what to who now, and it's like, yeah, he's a dick. So there is a narrative purpose to it. And if people are sensitive to it, I completely understand. I get it. But I went and saw John Wick 3 with a lady, and she said they better not do anything to the dog. And I was like, have you seen a John Wick movie?
Yeah. Have you seen a John Wick film? Yeah.
Have you seen the first one?
Yeah. And so it's like, I understand the sensitivity, but if you don't know what you're getting into, then I don't have much sympathy.
Fury, the cusp of John Wick's fury and his murderous rampage hinges on the dog. That's like the straw that breaks the camel's back moment.
Right, because the John Wick films aren't very complicated. They're just an excuse to watch a whole bunch of action and fighting and everything, and all of the motivation is you killed my dog, dude. And that dog, my wife gave me that dog before she died. You suck.
You feel more for the death of the dog than you do for the death of the wife.
Yeah.
Which is the purpose of that emotional manipulation. So just my perspective. Maybe I'm a little bit more callous.
No, you're not callous. That's not callousness. I just say you're conditioned to it a little bit more than I am, and that's okay.
You don't have a heart, Scotty.
No, I sold it for magic beans.
Did something grow?
You?
Something grew.
Did you kill the giant?
Did I what?
Did you kill the giant? And like after you stole its singing harp and its egg laying?
No, the giant owes me $5. We're pals.
Wow.
Oh. So okay. Let me tell the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Gorilla's random thought says, so I'm an idiot, Jill. No, you're not an idiot. I just got really emotional about that because there are some people who make their claims are like if you just find a random picture and say it's Doomcock for fun, that's not bad. But Some people are actually very malicious and they find very bad people and say that Doomcock is this very bad person for no reason. And those are the idiots.
And you know what's, not to get too far down that rabbit hole, whenever I discovered this person, I reported them and did everything I could to be like, oh, no, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
And of course they are. I don't give them the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Like Scotty says, don't give the terrible stuff attention, and they
Right,
won't garner any.
right.
Yeah, I just don't give them any credence because they're not right.
Right.
Well, everyone's entitled to their perspectives, and if, again, we've had this conversation
Of
several
course,
times.
I'm
If
not
there are
stopping
people,
them from doing anything. They
Yeah.
have their own platform and they're saying what they want.
The beauty of the internet is that there's probably a community for you, and if you enjoy that community, be protective of it, of course.
But be advised, there are always secret communities about people, and some of them, their contexts are not very ideal.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ignorance
I don't like everybody.
is
Everybody
bliss.
doesn't have to like me.
No,
and
what's
what other
crazy?
people say about me behind my back is none
Ignorance
of my business.
is bliss. That's all
I
I'll say.
heard about one time there was some kind of community somewhere where somebody was pretending to be me and
Oh
then
my
like harassing people about Star Trek and telling them they're idiots. And I never do that. I don't attack fans. And I was like, what's going on? And they came and they trolled Doomcock's chat and then like what's happening? I'm like the nicest person in the world. It
People
makes no
have
sense.
no life.
Yeah, no, I think that's really funny.
Trying to be trolls. Trying to work in them troll tusks and get that skin, that healthy shade of green, while they're hunched over their keyboards going,
Yeah, well, I guess they're having fun. Mark Harkness says, Gate Atoa is full of propaganda. The creator is a ultra nationalist. That's why I'm working on a big ol' fix fic to salvage a good premise and characters from ugly politics.
Ooh.
And Raquel says, I have heard of Grave of the Fireflies, but I haven't watched it.
Oh, I wrote it down. It's on the list.
Somehow I already had it on my list. I don't know how it made it there. Eugene Bird says, what are the day jobs of Stark of Iron and Fiona M that they know about bits and Raspberry Pis?
Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, superhero.
I know about Raspberry Pis.
Iron Man.
Wes Cagle says, Barefoot Generation was the original anime that dealt with the brutal reality of Hiroshima.
Ooh. Thank you.
Oh, yikes.
I admire animation as an art form, and so if there are more sort of adult and
historical,
yeah, I do enjoy that. Hey, Jim, how are you?
Hello, Jim. Susan Dolan says, one thing I didn't care for in Trek was from Next Generation to Enterprise, real Trek. The way that they did the Vulcans and the Andorians. Why the hell did they have to make them up to look like Neanderthals? Oh, West. Okay, so the reason why they did that was because of Michael Westmore. Michael Westmore loved to apply head appliances to everything.
I didn't like the Andorians in Next Generation, but I thought they did a decent job in Enterprise.
I think they look great in Enterprise. I love the moving antennae.
The makeup for the Andorians in Enterprise was top notch. That much I will give, for sure.
And Jedi Bill says hi. Hi, Jedi Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
I saw that you saw The Flash, and I have to check out your video review on it.
You went to watch The Flash? I'm so sorry, but hey, you do you.
Have you seen it, Tony?
No, it's on my to-do list this weekend. By the way, I have a 4-day weekend, so party.
Nice.
Ooh, party.
But,
party.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to do is sink my teeth into this film in a way that doesn't support the film, and you know what I'm talking about. And probably bitch about it as a result because the reviews are already doing that. But I'm carrying the mantra of going in open mind and coming out the other side. It's kind of like,
Well, that's good.
kind of like being eaten by an anaconda. You know you got to go into it, and you know the coming out the other end is probably worse. So
I don't think I want to be eaten by an anaconda, even for the curiosity of it.
but I mean, it's just an analogy. It's just
Right, like going into the belly of the whale.
Death, and in the end, it's a shittier exit. So,
or well, okay, you don't necessarily have to take the shitty exit. You can always pause. Like in the Magic School Bus when they go into Arnold, they don't go out the other end. They go back up through the mouth.
That's a Magic School Bus, okay, and B, you're not digesting a Magic School Bus.
Oh, therefore, yeah, they would.
The shitty ending. You get the ending by leaving the theater early.
They would if they couldn't get him to have gas and burp.
What a weird episode. I like the episode where they go into the volcano. That was awesome.
Well, I enjoy. I found out the reason why I love miniature science fiction is because of that show.
They do miniaturize. I think, didn't they go to a hive of ants one time?
A hive of ants, old decrepit log.
Just to see the ecosystem of a log on the ground.
They got baked into a pie.
Oh, okay. You really have to finish that sentence. I didn't realize that there was a marijuana episode of the Magic School Bus.
No.
The entirety of the Magic School Bus is a damn good marijuana episode.
It is, but I love Miss Frizzle's dresses. Fiona M says the lack of video was referring to a potential series about the Romulan War. They didn't know what each other looked like. Oh, right, of course, because of the Balance of Terror. That's why it was such a surprise to Spock.
Yes. But they would have had, they wouldn't have had ship-to-ship communication, but they still would have been able to see each other's ships. That was something that also that bothered me a little bit. Although I'd have to rewatch the episode of Enterprise when the Romulans show up, because they have the cloaking device then as well, which is odd. I thought. Bird probably knows better than I do.
As long as the crew of the Enterprise don't see them, I'm okay with it.
I don't think they
Jill, just pointing out, your Stream Elements still has Pop Culture KO labeled as the Harvey Zone.
Oh man. Okay, yeah, I haven't updated my thing in a while. But that will still get you to the right place.
Right.
It just will be
It's not the Harvey Zone anymore. It's
right. But the Harvey Zone link still is valid.
which is weird that both URLs work. Well,
because one has the little @ symbol, and the other one is the original link, and that is still valid. And then the @ symbol is different. I think that was pretty smart to keep them both running.
Yep.
I'll update that later. Thank you for the notice. I've got to do a whole bunch of updating on my.
My eyes are very keen when I see this stuff now. I've been hanging around wrenches too much. It's rubbing off on me.
Good. It's a lot of fun. Wes Cagle says, I watched Watership Down when I was 11. And I had no idea what I was in for. It was amazing. It's incredible. Yeah, I agree. I need to. 11? Okay. I gotta. My kid is old enough to read Watership Down? Seriously? What's the reading level for Watership Down?
I thought it was middle school. I thought it was grade 6 through 8.
Oh yeah, he reads at a 6th grade level. So there we go.
It is good to introduce the realities of the world as early as possible, but in a fashion that isn't going to be invasive to their psyche.
And it's not. The scariest time is when Bigwig gets stuck into the trap.
Hey, spoilers. I haven't seen it.
What?
Liar.
No, I haven't.
My God, man, you need to go watch this after shore leave today.
Sounds like a plan.
Mark Harkness says the death of the original Enterprise crushed me as a child because she was a character we loved too. I was sure Spock would be back, but our Enterprise was gone.
Mm-hmm.
I miss my old chair.
A moment of silence for everybody's favorite Connie.
And you'll never get a chair that is exactly like that either.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Dredd says, I need to get caught up on UFO.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be watching another episode next week.
Mm-hmm.
Next Friday.
I'm getting through it pretty slowly, but I'll get there. And Wes Cagle likes Enterprise, but didn't care for the makeup for the Vulcans. And Gorilla screams, you can threaten me. You can threaten my family. But if you threaten my dog, it's World War V.
So what happens if I steal your banana horde, DK? Will it be World War VI? Sorry.
We'll see. He will probably answer you.
The gorilla jokes, that I have a million of them. Mostly DK oriented.
Oh. That's all right. Why don't you read this for me, please?
Any particular voice or just my own?
Oh, whichever you like, or your own. I like your voice.
Hello! The warning I got from the panel on Doomcock's PCB swayed me away from going to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That's a good move, Wes Cagle. I've done the same thing. And the MCU series that I enjoyed the most.
I know. I love Guardians of the Galaxy, and so I actually kind of like Guardians 3, but there are some things that don't make sense.
I think that Guardians 3, and this won't take but maybe 2 minutes for me to say. I think that what was going through James Gunn's mind when he did this film was he was like, there's so much that I haven't got done. There's so much that I needed to do, and I just need to cram it all in here at once. And what you get is 20-minute set pieces at tops, constantly changing the atmosphere, constantly changing the scenery, constantly changing the story.
It does move really fast.
It's very fast.
It is erratic.
It's still over 2 hours long. So you get 2 hours of what the hell's going on. If you go and take a piss, God help you. Because by the time you get back, you're going to be like, where the fuck are we now? You know?
I'm just super jazzed that there was a Marvel movie called Endgame, so I stopped. Because they had a series finale, and I was like, so we don't have to go any further. And then I started watching the stuff that was after. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, nope, we didn't have to go any further. It's over. It's done. Thanks, though. Appreciate the spin-offs, but they're not for me.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah.
They did. Mark Harkness says they did the same thing in the fourth Dirty Harry movie. They show his friend dead. Oh, Horace. Then he sees they hurt the dog he didn't even like. Break out the 44 complete with ominous music cue.
You can do anything but stay off of my blue suede shoes.
Well, yeah, even if the puppy's annoying or whatever, you're still gonna be mad if somebody hurts it. That makes sense. Gorilla's random thought says, Tony, I'm not turning green, but I am hunched over.
How are your tusks growing in? If you really are evolving into troll, check your lower canines and see if they have started to protrude from your mouth in a very very bridge dweller fashion, under bridge dweller fashion. Asking for a friend.
For the 3 Billy Goats gruff?
Yes.
Raquel SSG says, what? I'm so sorry, Jill. You don't deserve that. No, it was a long time ago, and I tried to search them to try to find out where they were, but I couldn't find them. They're somewhere. Fiona M says, I'm a physicist.
And I got theories to bounce off of you now. You said the magic P word.
Yeah, well, Fiona is always bringing lots of cool science into the chat, and so that explains it.
We're gonna have to discuss some of my theories later.
Well, I would like to welcome Bird of Prey 5 to the panel.
Kapla!
Hello, world. It's Bird of Prey 5. Kapla. Thank you.
Yeah,
Cheers, sir.
you're welcome.
Cheers, my
Thank
friend.
you for stopping by.
Now that we
Happy
got Bird of Prey
Friday.
here, it is a party. Cheers.
Yeah, happy Friday. How are you been doing?
You know, so. Good. Today's a good day.
It
Today
is.
is a good day.
You put out a good review. I didn't have
Well,
to watch it. I didn't have to
thank
watch
you.
Strange New Worlds. That makes me so happy.
And,
I'm gonna
there
have
were a couple of things I missed because I forgot. There was just so much. There was so much. So many problems with Strange
Well, I
New
bet.
World Season 2.
If you really tear apart anything, it can get overwhelming just how many things are wrong.
One of the main ones was there was a whole lot of flickering. Like, I mean, I'm not somebody who has seizures, thank God, but there was a scene that was just extended amount of flickering lights and so much action. I had to look away. I had to look away for a while. I was going to get sick.
Wow, I
And
thought one of the things even though, of course, Cartoon Trek is by and large terrible, I thought one of the things they did right was the production. In terms,
don't get me wrong. I mean, the view of the ships and the space and whatnot. I mean, granted, none of it is real or even could pass as real, but it is artistically, nice to look at. I mean, they present a planet with like inverse mountains that are bigger on the top than the bottom and somehow standing like literally like I said, Acme from the Roadrunner and Coyote cartoons couldn't ask for, they draw more believable landscapes in Looney Tunes than this planet was like designed. Like, I don't know. Okay, it's an alien planet, but it doesn't mean that the mountains are opposite. Okay, mountains would still be mountains on an alien planet.
Right, because gravity.
You tell me that the peaks of these mountains, they're like oversized tops. Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly. Like the entire mountain is balancing off of a tiny bottom, and they get bigger as they go up. And there's not one or four. There's like 30 of these things all around. And then inside, in the middle of them, was the settlement. This is like one of these things tip over, everybody's going to die. I mean, so many.
What's keeping them from tipping over?
Apparently, magic. I guess. I mean, there's certainly no physics. There's no physical reason these things couldn't tip over.
Yeah, magic. Like the magic drugs they take now in Star Trek to be super strong that you told me about.
Right. So the Federation, you're not allowed to edit your DNA to become super strong and super fast. But here, take a drug that makes you super strong and super fast, and that's A-okay. In fact, we'll give it to you. We'll give as much of it to you as you want, and just take it all the time. But if you edit your DNA so that you're like that, you're born that way, well, now you're not allowed in Starfleet.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't there this little thing called hold on, I got something in my throat. The eugenics wars that answered all this shit for us. I mean, I don't know, could be wrong, but
all of this makes me miss the magic transporters.
I do enjoy a good magic transporter.
Oh, I do. Fiona M says, eaten by an anaconda has become a terrible Star Wars trope. Oh, is that a Star Wars thing? What's going on?
Eaten by a rancor, or eaten by the Sarlacc, or eaten by the thing that lives in the asteroid.
Eugene Bird says to Fiona, amazing. That's what I wanted to be. trying to learn QFT, but still learning about the standard model Lagrangian.
Somebody wants to go into particle physics. Well, the first thing I got to tell you, my friend, is this. When you start arguing with other people in your field, much like the medium, there will be multiple collisions. Going into particle physics, you're going to argue more than you're going to research. I'm sorry, but that's the breaks.
I like to research, but
I
I'm
like
afraid to argue.
Armchair guy that will do his research by himself, come to his own conclusions. And if some other person that just happens to have a little extra peer review than I do goes, yeah, you're wrong, I'll look over it and I go, okay, well, explain to me how. But like, if you get like two people that have a peer review of like 10 on each side, and they're like, no, this is how a fermion activates in this particular field here. This is what WIMPs can't pass through. This is what a Mason does. And then you got the other person on the other side doing the exact same thing, but it's like opposite. And they just argue, and it'll go for 6 months to a year. And I can't stand that. I'm like, it's particle, a little.
Well, it's a lot of it is so theoretical. It's difficult.
It's
to
all theory.
Pin down what it is when all you have is math.
And people seem to forget the key word is there's only 4 laws of physics. Only 4. And one of them has become a mathematical conjecture. Only, gravity is now no longer a physical phenomenon. It's a mathematical expression of matter relative to space-time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get all these people that go, well, this is definitely the way. This is the proof here. And I'm like, well, prove it. Give me 100% proof.
Well, they say that gravity is weaker because it's existing in other dimensions.
Oh, God, I can't stand that theory.
I do appreciate that science is ongoing, and so there are until there are concrete answers. So the debate, I welcome the debate, but you're right. It gets frustrating if it's just an argument.
It does. It's just like you guys spend all day arguing instead of, coalescing and working together to figure it out together. Some person's just like, oh, I want that grant. Oh, I want this research fund. I got to race to it. Science is a very cutthroat industry. That's a lot of people don't get. It's like, people, they come out with a thesis, and unless you got that under lock and key, some guy's going to come in there, grab it, download the files, and then take it to the boss and go, hey, look at my thesis.
That's okay. I could definitely see that happening. And that makes it difficult to have a conversation. You want to talk about your theory, but then it's going to be taken.
Right.
And Eugene Bird also says he took Alex Volnoy online classes. That sounds like fun. And I have the prerequisites to learn all of this complicated stuff. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've taken physics 1 and 2. And
Jill and I have some time.
And all the maths.
All I know is Jill and I were talking about this last week. If there's anything you want me to discuss with you about stuff that I know, it's not completely concrete outside of electrical engineering, but I've studied casually abroad and can answer a lot of questions you may have.
That sounds good. As soon as I have any, I will let you know. And I do enjoy listening to your knowledge and your discussion. You have great knowledge on engineering. That would be fun. Bird of Prey 5 says,
I'm so sorry. My doctor called just as I got here before, so I'm back.
Oh, well, yeah, you gotta.
Well, welcome back. Your disappearance was apparently very seamless. So.
Oh, sorry. Good. I'm glad. I
Yeah.
I didn't know if I missed anything.
It was perfect. Because you finished your thought and then you went away, and it was good. Good stuff.
If anybody asked me a question, I wasn't ignoring you.
And Susan Dolan does say to you, considering Enterprise was supposed to be the origin of Trek, they were making what would be canon by the time you got to TOS.
But I agree with Bird of Prey in the fact that it is very loose with canon because while it is covering certain elements of the Star Trek timeline in the past, pre-23rd century, they take creative liberties because they're still writing a prequel series 40 years from the original run. And so, much like translating the Bible, it's like translating the Bible from Hebrew to English. A lot of things get lost in the process and aren't recoverable.
Yeah, and I'm sure there were some mistakes, but it by and large tried its best to do things
I'd
right.
rather have the canon a little loose than just totally swung out into the fens like what they're doing now.
Yeah, and also, I mean, any giant mistakes they did make, whether it was a mistake on purpose or calculated, they supposedly had plans to, fix it, and they could have fixed it within the guidelines of this temporal Cold War.
Right.
They just needed some more seasons.
Yeah, had they had the seasons they expected, they would have had.
And hello in the chat to Tim's Talk. He's here.
Tim.
He says, "What's up?"
Teague is listening to us on the 7.
On the 7? What's
on
the
the 7 train in the subway, and he cannot properly return hails, but I figured I'd go ahead and give him a shout out. I know it's at the bottom of the chat, but
oh, hello, Admiral Teague.
Given the fact that he's on the rails and will more than likely be underneath hundreds of feet of concrete, steel, and plumbing, and figured to go ahead and give him a shout out.
Don't forget sewage.
And sewage, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, hail, Admiral Teague. Tweet to me if you want me to hang out with y'all later on Saving Star Trek. I have nothing better to do. Just let me know if you want me there.
All right.
Speaking of which, I have my default avatar up on a Star Trek show. How dare I?
Oh, right. And also, Bird, you're going to have your bed life also at
Yeah, I've
after the
got
show.
maybe like 10, 15 minutes then.
Oh, great.
Gotta
you got 10 minutes. I wanted your being here is really great because one of the things, if I had run out of chat, that I wanted to talk about was the upcoming Futurama series. That's going to occur next month. So most new shows are dreadful, so I'm always trying to see if there's anything I could look forward to seeing. And so I'm going to be open-minded and try to watch Futurama and just hope it's still going to be good science fiction.
Absolutely.
Because it's one of the best science fiction animations. Western one anyway. I'm sure there are way better animes or whatever that I haven't gotten to yet. But it does a great job of doing well done comedy that takes science fiction concepts either not too seriously, but in an intelligent way.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, but I am deeply concerned.
I wasn't deeply concerned at all until I looked it up, and there's this article I read today that kind of bothers me about it. It says, well, Futurama is supposed to be about what things are like in the third millennium, but this article is directly stating that they're going to be talking about current contemporary issues and just inserting them into the show and then just building the lore from the past.
I'd say like a lot of sci-fi, they do take, issues of the day and then bring it to the future and make it something we can make fun of or look at from a different angle. Like previously they had, Mom Corp as Mopple or whatever, basically Apple, and everybody having iPhones and social media, and they did their future versions and, future versions of the internet that became full of ads, but they were all by holograms instead
I
of
haven't seen that.
websites. Those were the seasons that were done, I guess, on Comedy Central. After, I don't know if it was maybe season 7 or maybe they I think it was on Fox till like season 7, 5 or 6.
Well, it
then
got
after
rough
that,
at some point, and then it got better.
yeah. But like I know, like later seasons, for sure they were bringing contemporary issues to the future, and like a Star Trek might do, or Twilight
Well,
Zone or
right, and
something.
it just depends on how it's presented, and if it's presented the way classic Star Trek did, then it'll be good. And by and large, I like most of Futurama. So
I
if
have
they
to
keep that,
say,
it'll be good.
this is something I want to tell to Bird of Prey 5, maybe? Hello, if you want an impersonation, why not Zoidberg? Whoop, 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 whoop. Anyway, remember that time that we had that stimulus package? $300? I spent it and lived like a king, I tell you. Like a king. They cover a lot of real world things. That's like, and this is something that I
Yes,
wanted to
they
bring
do.
up about like Animaniacs. Like whenever I watch the Hulu series version of Animaniacs from like 2019 or 2020, and I was immediately off put by the amount of political saturation in it. And it only took me a second run. Like I went back and I watched the pilot from 93. And as I sat down and I got to see and break down the structure of the episodes, it was like, wait a minute. It's the same amount of political humor, but because we're living in 2023 and politics is everywhere, it is really give us a sour outlook. Futurama has always poked at modern day issues since day one. The only thing that they've done is they've added 10 flying cars and ray guns to it, and that retro futuristic kind of vibe. I'm hoping, and this is me just playing the long game here. I'm hoping and praying that they stick to that formula. Will it be not as well received at first? Absolutely, because we're all bitter and old and hate everything and have all these political agendas shoved down our throats. But if people give it the second chance, like I know that all true Futurama fans will, and as long as I still bring commentary and jokes to mathematical theorems that are unsolvable, physical quandaries,
Yes.
particle physics, the ability to evolve physiologically and technologically, as long as they're able to still streamline what we love about Futurama, including the pop culture references it also brought to us, then on the whole, in the long run, the show will be successful.
So the political jokes aren't so bad when you have some real fun escapist science fiction surrounding it also.
Oh yes, here is the length of wire I keep in my junk drawer, and there's my intergalactic spaceship. Let me show you the different lengths of wire I use. As long as we maintain that.
It's a very difficult time for comedy because even
it is.
like back in the day, if someone made a hamburger out of my sacred cow, I could laugh along with it. But now people are sensitive to the point that they think that if they make fun of your sacred cow, then they have an agenda against you. And it is true in some cases, but in other cases, it's just a joke. Move on.
If I want to digest my grandfather, I shall do so. You can't judge.
Yeah, but if it isn't funny to both sides, then it's kind of a failure.
Well, exactly. And I agree with that. But also, if something is making fun of something that you love, but also making fun of something that you also make fun of, then you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
For me, I know I have to remember, because I've already had this happen when I go back and rewatch Futurama, and then watching it coming from 2023 or 2022, even 2020, like, oh, this is woke. No, it's when Futurama premiered way back when, it was the same formula. It still is.
2001.
Leela. I can't say her
Leela.
name. Yeah, Leela. She's the ass kicker.
Yep.
She always was.
Correct.
Fry is the comedy
She's the
relief.
mutant.
He's he's not the smartest guy in the world. He's good-hearted, but he's not particularly
He has a
smart
big heart.
guy.
He's a product of
So I mean,
the millennium that he came from.
He's a man from the stupid ages.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Amy is a very smart woman.
But she's also pretentious.
Yeah, she's kind of like a millennial.
Her
Now we didn't know
family
what to call
owns
her at
all,
the time.
like, her
Rich.
family owns
She's
like the
also
northern
rich.
hemisphere of Mars.
The Wongs.
Yeah.
But that's what makes her good, though, because even though she's very intelligent, she's also
Kappa
an airhead
Wong.
at the same exact time.
The professor is, very smart, but also very old.
Senile.
Yeah. He forgets things he's invented and reinvents them over again. But so it's like I watched it at the time, it was hilarious. And if I start to watch it now, like, oh, well, all the men are idiots, all the women are smart and fighting and
Yeah, but
powerful. But that's just how it was. That's okay. That's the Futurama.
But they still had their foibles, even
They do.
even
They're
so.
not perfect. Right. I mean, they still need each other.
Well, take a look at Zap Brannigan. He's basically a caricature of Captain Kirk. Dialed to 11. He's tactical in the way that's bad, but it's still tactically sound, and that's like the whole joke. It's like
I don't know. I mean, I understand he has some Kirk, but I don't know that he's the character.
It's an exaggerated caricature, in my opinion. It's kind of like a mix between Kirk and what's that other very loose, very swingy captain? And there was a captain in Barbarella that was like that. What's his fucking name?
I don't know. I haven't seen Barbarella.
Oh man, Jane Fonda.
But Jim's Landscape is asking me, do I ever review Star Trek fan films? Well, after I review TOS, I'm going to review Continues before I move on to For All Mankind. So that's my answer.
Joseph Dredd. I'm sorry, I don't want to read it out of order.
Oh no, go ahead if you want to read a chat.
There's a Futurama did the Star Trek trivia contest. Yeah, that one is one of the best Futurama episodes where no fan has gone before.
No fan.
And,
oh,
they
that's
had almost
one of
the whole cast,
Mm-hmm.
almost the whole original series cast.
I love that episode so much.
Everybody but Chekhov, obviously, I believe.
No,
Yeah,
Chekhov was
everybody
there.
but
DeForest Kelly and
James Doohan.
Yeah.
Which they replaced James Doohan with Welshie.
Welshie.
Who sent that chat?
Judge Dredd.
Judge Joseph Dredd.
Joseph Dredd. Okay, great. And I really do love that episode. And the best part of that is that it was written by David Cohen. I mean, not David Cohen. David A. Goodman. And apparently he writes episode 5 for the new season.
Oh, it's nice that they bring back that old talent.
Hey, Jill, I got an idea for an episode of Plomeek. If you get saturated on UFO and want to change the scenery, and I want to be there for it, we should totally review the episode where no fan has gone before from Futurama, and I think that would be a very fun episode.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll put that on the list. I have a Friday.
Futurama.
Right off. No, I can't do all of Futurama, but maybe just all the highlights. There's 11 seasons. What am I going to do? Oh, wait. How many seasons are there?
It might be. I don't know.
There's
It depends how many you count. Count the movies as seasons.
That would have, that would have to be a Tuesday show if I went in order. But on Friday I like to go out of order, except for I guess I'm going in order for UFO, so I could do that for Futurama. That's an idea. Thank you. I have to think about it. Because you used to do watch parties for that, right?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we did. We do all the Futurama?
I don't know if you
I
did or
must
not.
have.
I wasn't around for that.
I must
but
have
I
done them
heard of
all
it.
because because when I start a watch party, I don't stop till we finish the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah, I only heard
Fiona,
legends of these.
I have to combat this chat.
Uh-oh.
Because sending wave after wave.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Okay, but let me read her chat first. Fiona says, there's nothing tactically sound about Zap Brannigan. He's a complete idiot.
Zap Brannigan used attrition, which of course isn't the most tactically efficient method of tactics, but he used what we call the Imperial Guard strategy in Warhammer 40k, where if you have enough men and you have enough bullets, the enemy will drown in our own blood.
Lots of cannon fodder.
Yes, because he fought a legion of killbots by sending wave of his guys until the killbots reached their set kill limit and they shut down. Is it tactically sound efficiently? No. Did he complete the mission parameters? Yes, which allows some tactical acuity. He is very pompous and arrogant. Yeah, it's not really sound, but he completed his mission, and that's
so not tactically sound. Fiona wins.
Yeah, Fiona doesn't win in many cases. He has to be saved by others who
It's a
figure out
great
how to
Earthican
win.
victory, though.
Yeah, it's a great Earthican victory, and he wanted to blow up like a plan. Like Zap goes to war to get tax write-offs for Nixon. I mean, that's what it really boils down.
I wonder if Nixon's still going to be. I'm guessing Nixon
still president.
will be gone.
He's on his 5th term now. Yeah, he keeps renewing his terms. Nixon's been the Earthican president for.
What happened to term limits in Futurama?
Well, he won the robot vote, so.
Mm-hmm. Fiona says he blunders into victory. That could also be true. I didn't think about it that way. He could have been like, yeah, keep fighting, men. And he accidentally discovered the kill limit. But of course, being that he's very boisterous and likes to boast, then yeah, you're probably right there with the fact that he's like, oh, let me just change the narrative to make me look like I'm a great general. So points to Fiona. Fiona won, Mr. Stark, big old fat goose egg. Well done.
Yeah, except I really did enjoy you explaining how his tactics worked. I didn't really ever think that he had a logical reason for his actions.
I play Warhammer 40k, and I'm also a guard player. I don't play Space Marines. I play guard.
But it seems to translate pretty well.
Numbers win the day when you're playing guard.
And I want to say hello in the chat to Donnie Pearson. Also, James Cassert is here.
More phenomenal, Donnie.
Hey, Donnie Pearson, hail the guardian of the grid.
And
thank
Jim.
you for having me up here, Jill, and everybody.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Go.
Please tell us about your things that you're doing.
Oh well, hello all. I'm Birdo Prey 5. Each Thursday, I'll be putting out a review, a reaction, more like, to Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And I do live streams Mondays and Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern called Bed Life. Just kind of talk about anything, try to have fun, talk with the chat, talk about issues of the day, whatever. And Sundays, I do a Twilight Zone stream. We're up to the the second revival of the Twilight Zone from the 2000s. It's just one season.
They had any 2000 ones.
Yeah. And then after that will be the terrible CBS All Access Jordan Peele version.
What?
Yeah.
You're gonna why?
Because
Whoa!
It's kind of like Star Trek. These are gonna be ones I have things to say. I need to say.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. There is a lot to say. I grant you that.
Those will be fun in a dark way.
True.
For
There
me.
are lots of darkness in those hills.
But, anyway, yeah. So check it out. Check out birdofprey5.com. You can find my channel and social media and all other things. So thank you so much.
Hail Kroga.
We
Hail Kroga.
rarely get the time
Cheers,
to
Gerd.
converse Bird of Prey 5, and I appreciate the few times that we do.
I appreciate it too. Take care.
You too.
Have a great day.
You too.
That guy is great.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
a mention, a legend. Absolutely.
He's so much fun. I'm glad I got to talk about Futurama with him too, because
Dude, I could much like what I do for Armchair Science, I could provide you hours upon unlimited hours of Futurama entertainment.
I bet you
Not
could.
just because I could do half of the Billy West voices, but because I thoroughly enjoy the show.
Yeah, I do too. There's a lot of good stuff there. Arabic Sandra says my favorite Futurama episode is the Moby concert.
Fucking Woodbender is pretending to be disabled. He's like raking his like gash wound on his door. No, that was Beck. That was when he was touring with Beck, or the decapitated heads of Beck.
Yeah, my problem with Futurama is I end up binge watching it, so everything runs together.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So episodes begin to bleed into, and then you have to second guess yourself and go, "Oh wait, yeah, that was Beck, not Moby."
Oh yeah. Fiona says the point of Brannigan is he really has no redeeming qualities, and yet he's still the most decorated military leader.
After our minor analysis and coalescence of points being made, I feel like I'm inclined to agree.
And Jim says Star Trek Continues is great. I watch Continues lots.
I enjoyed it.
And James Caserta says I was shocked by Starship Farragut. Just what I want to see in Trek.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that either. I plan to binge Futurama on new Disney Plus Hulu app. Likewise, the first 6 seasons of 911 that aired on the Fox network. And so the writers for episode 1 and 2, they're original authors of Futurama, Patrick M. Barone and Eric Horsted. So that's great. The last 2 episodes are also by the creators, Eric Kaplan and David X. Cohen. So those are going to probably be really good. But then there are some episodes in between written by some new authors where we're not sure how well those are going to be received. There's somebody named Nona Spargement, and she's not even on IMDb yet, so we'll see. I have no idea her background. Then there's Maya Williams, who wrote a bunch of 90s comedy stuff. So that might be good just because 90s comedy is good. But then there's someone named Ariel Landon show.
Ariel Landon.
And she wrote some children's shows and then Solar Opposites. So hopefully she's getting some help from the other writers.
I kind of like Solar Opposites. It's much more akin to the family sitcom trope that we know from like the late 80s, early 90s. Think Family Matters, but with aliens. I mean, their ship is literally covered with like random assortments of tarp and tents. Like everybody in the neighborhood knows they're aliens. Everybody apparently is fine with it, to the point to where they do like general protests whenever they go on their wacky adventures. So it's kind of in the same cynicism as Rick and Morty, but it's not dialed up to 11 like Rick and Morty, and it's a lot.
I've been interested in seeing it, but I haven't checked it.
I like it. I love, and since you like shrunken people, you like miniaturization. The there's an entire sub story. There's this B story where people are shrunk and put in this massive multi-layered terrarium in this kid's wall.
Oh, like the cage.
Like the cage. He has his own menagerie, and they're all like really itty bitty. He shrinks them down, and like there's like an episode where there's an empire that rises within the terrarium led by a corrupt politician, and then rebels out him out and kick him out of the wall into the backyard. And then there's like an adventure in the backyard where they end up having to work together. Dude, watch it.
It does. I do plan on it because I do enjoy.
You like shrunken stuff. That B story's for you.
I do enjoy the weird tangents that Justin Rowling goes down, even though I've learned too much about his personal life lately. But
don't hate the artist, enjoy the art.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
There's if I was in the same vein, I wouldn't be doing Rick and Morty voices anymore. I would stop.
Hi, Raquel.
Yes, that's what I wanted to do. Hello, Raquel.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Hi, Raquel.
Hey. I thought I would pop in here for a bit.
Yeah, thank you so much for popping in. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just got some stuff done, so I thought I would just chill with you guys for a bit.
Nice.
All right. Well, that's very nice of you. I'm so happy to see you. What have you been up to?
Paradise Planet.
A lot of work and a lot of organization stuff I need to get done that I've been putting off for too long.
Yeah, organizing. That's good.
Make that list order.
Definitely some spring cleaning to be done.
I'll be doing that tomorrow and at some point earlier on Monday.
I need to do that. I have too many things.
Bedroom. I say we take off and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Can I do that? Just throw it all away and start over.
Yeah.
Just nuke the site from orbit. He's got the right idea. All you got to do is overload that reactor. Everything else is just, plug and play. Been a hot minute since we've talked, Raquel. I'm glad you're in good spirits.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I also been busy with traveling and stuff like that. One of my sisters got married a few weekends ago, so that was really good to see everyone, and I'm really happy for her.
Yeah, that's really great. Congrats to your sister.
Is Kefla your favorite Super Saiyan amalgam?
Oh, yes, she is. She's my favorite character. Like, yeah, finally a female Super Saiyan. Woohoo!
A female Super Saiyan that isn't Caulifla becoming Broly the Second.
That was interesting to see.
Are you familiar? I can't remember the name. I think it's Hats Off Media or Red Letter Media. He did this Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation and would just talk about Dragon Ball Z as if it was like an FBB tournament.
No, I don't believe I have.
Oh, man, it's absolutely hilarious. Just YouTube the Angry Austrian when you have a free moment and go to the Tournament of Power. And he of course, this really like buff Arnold-like character is like swooning over Caulifla's Broly form. I think you would enjoy it. I think it's a good laugh. It's a good laugh.
All right, I have to check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And sorry, I don't know too much about that stuff. So but that's really like you guys can talk about anything at any point you guys want to.
I have my hands in many honey pots.
Well, me too. But I'm not really familiar with Star Trek that much.
Yeah,
a little
Yeah, that's why I'm so glad to see you here.
Just a little bit, like, I have been watching Picard with my friend, but we haven't really finished it yet.
Don't bother. Just go watch the original series.
Yes, TOS and maybe some of TNG if you're feeling explorative.
Yeah, okay, maybe TNG would be a good starting point for you. Actually.
It was my starting point by default.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not old enough to have watched TOS during its Virgin Run.
From the 60s, right? The original series, the 60s, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. 66.
I have to check it out.
Yeah, and then TNG started in the late 80s.
Yeah, the only person I know that I am familiar, well, actually two, William Shatner and that other chick, I forget her name.
Nichelle Nichols?
Nichelle Nichols?
Or Majel Barrett?
Nichelle Nichols? I'm not sure. Let me, yeah, Nichelle Nichols. Yeah, that's only two people that I'm currently familiar with.
Well, it's never too late.
No, absolutely not.
And similarly, I'll try to get into anime at some point.
If you like sci-fi stuff, right, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
I think a good sci-fi anime. I think you would enjoy. Either Dr. Stone.
Good one.
Outlaw Star.
Very good one. I highly recommend it.
Gurren Lagann.
If you like comedy more than sci-fi.
And Neo Genesis Evangelion.
And that one's...
I've heard of that.
Evangelion's good if you like sci-fi with religious overtones.
And definitely the animated version of Cowboy Bebop. Don't watch the live action Netflix Cowboy Bebop edition. That was
Somebody warned Scotty R37 about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I love Cowboy Bebop, and I do not care for Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop is the live action one.
Can I have a Sausage McBiscuit, please?
So yeah, any one of those, yeah, I think they're a good starting.
Those are all good recommendations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I would start with, if I were you, Jill, just so that you can get into the craziness, I would probably start with Bebop because it's a tried and true. It's a well-traveled road. It definitely brings how society would act if we blew it all up on Earth and still somehow made it out away from it. Outlaw Star next, because like Trek, it introduces many elements of alien races of varying strength levels, skill levels. Like, I think you'll be particularly fond of Aisha. I love Aisha Clan. She's loving life.
So like Star Trek, except we blew up the world and we had to
get
away.
Aisha Clan is how you do cat people right. That's all I'll say there. Then I would, if you want to dial it up to 11, then go with Gurren Lagann, because robots the size of galaxies are just fun.
I'm gonna mix all of these different shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really difficult not to get confused.
So James Caserta says Axanar is a scam film, isn't it?
No, Axanar is love and life.
Well, Prelude to Axanar was really cool, but I don't see any possibility that Axanar will ever be finished.
No,
I don't think so either.
He's suffering the James R.R. Martin syndrome, where it'll be finished when I finish it.
I thought that Axanar was the thing that kicked off the whole dispute between fan films and CBS Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
So you could make a non-profit fan film and it wasn't a big deal. But when Axanar started going bigger than its britches and started making money, it was taking away from the actual IP. And so it wasn't a fan film anymore. It was a business with someone else's IP that they didn't really have the ownership to play with.
Well,
And so
and
that's
also
why
they
that
were
one
making
kind of
they were
went
making
down.
better Star Trek than Star Trek. So
Well, it was
that
before.
can't happen.
It was before the STD. It was, I think it was hovering around 2009, or it was
Yeah.
during
Okay,
the
that's
Kelvin verse.
same thing.
Well, the Kelvin verse
It
I give a
still
pass.
stands.
It's GoBot Star Trek.
Yeah.
And people like GoBots. I'm not saying it's the best of friends. Like, I still like 2009 and beyond. We don't talk about Into Darkness for obvious reasons.
Did somebody say GoBots?
Yes. And so
I am Lord
yeah,
Megatron. I'm the only Cybertronian nemesis that you'll ever need.
So I think it was just sort of greed and avarice that made Axanar crash and burn.
I think
I guess.
Bird of Prey 5
I don't
raised
know.
in the chat. Bird of Prey 5 at 3:27 p.m.,
There-
which is of course very, very down the line, said a good point that's adequate to this conversation. Axanar isn't a scam; it's just poorly produced. They shot for the moon, and they missed, and they didn't understand the length it would take to get to the stars as a result.
Well, and there's a problem with
Mm-hmm.
there's a problem with doing a not-for-profit only fan film kind of thing, because the people producing it, they still have to eat. They still have to be able to
But
live,
I can't make
so they have to make some money.
I can't make a James Bond movie with James Bond and all the tropes that go there, because the people who actually own the property are going to be like, what are you doing with this thing that we own? And if I make a Star Trek fan film and I'm like, I'm going to make this much money with
I'll
it.
tell you one property that isn't afraid of fan films and allowing them to produce what they want is the Orville.
Exactly.
They have lots of fan films, and nobody's limiting the amount of minutes that they can make the fan film, or beating down their door and getting all up in arms about their production. So Orville loves their fans. Star Trek doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the modern context, absolutely, I agree.
Your number 3? Oh, Strange New Worlds is Donnie Pearson's number 3 Star Trek show. His current, out of the current Star. Okay, wait a minute, that makes more sense. No pressure.
Well, and Donnie's got a good perspective on it in terms of, if you like it, good. If you don't, great.
Well, that's a great thing about Donnie Pearson. He can hang.
Yeah, enjoy what you enjoy.
Donnie Pearson, like I said, I call him the guardian of the grid for a reason, because he's as passionate about Power Rangers as I'm passionate about a lot of things. I like Power Rangers, but I only like Power Rangers Classic and post Ivan Ooze. Whenever they got into like Z-Force and Time Squad and etc. etc. Oh, speaking of Time Squad, hello Dalek, how are you?
Dalek.
Hello, Dalek 451.
Yeah, hi. Afternoon, Scotty, Tony. Hi, Jill. Hi, Raquel.
Hello.
The invasion has begun, everybody. We're doomed.
The Dalek Emperor is here.
They have descended into a planet where there are no stairs, and therefore they stand unopposed forever.
They fly now.
I know. Yeah, they fly. Daleks fly. Yeah.
Well, modern Daleks fly, yeah, but yeah, they weren't always able to, unless you look at maybe something like the audio stuff from Big Finish, or maybe the old comics from like I think the 60s or 70s, where they had, well, the Daleks themselves didn't fly, but they did have these flying discs or something that they could actually pilot that flew.
Oh, to compensate.
Like their exo armor would just slot itself onto the disc, and they would just become more mobile death ray in the air.
Pretty much.
The Daleks flew during Sylvester McCoy.
They did once. They did. Right. There's this one scene, I think, like the end of the first or in the second episode of Remembrance of the Daleks, where the Doctor and Ace are in this basement. They're in this Dalek teleportation machine, and the Doctor's just sabotaged it, and then he mentions like there should be like someone there to maintain it, to make sure it doesn't go wrong. And Ace is like, and that would be another Dalek, wouldn't it? Yes. Stay where you are. Do not move. And they have to run up the.
Fiona made a good point in that chat, by the way. Holy moly, Fiona, you are a neuron after my own synapse. I tip my brain to you.
What did she say?
She said, "Ergo Proxy or Ghost in the Shell should be your foray into anime, Joe."
Oh yeah, I did see that, and I typed those out. I have a list. I have Raquel's list and hers.
Yeah.
I have a list of movies that I haven't seen.
I've never properly watched Ghost in the Shell. I need to see it.
I have not finished the animated movie, first one. I kind of stopped it halfway.
If you like Blade Runner and you like Cyberpunk and you like Shadowrun, you'll love Ghost in the Shell. It's very much the same take where, everything is so integrated into the network that, entire personalities can be uploaded and downloaded into the network. It's really cool. I love the aesthetics for some of the machinery in that anime as well. And don't get me started on Ergo Proxy. We'll be here all night. So carry on. Daleks levitating through staircases. Yes, that was.
Yeah. In fact, in that scene that when the Dalek comes along, McCoy shouts "Stairs!" and they run up the stairs to get out, and then like there's something that, and then like Ace gets through the door, she gets tackled, and then the door gets locked. So the Doctor's trapped, and then the Dalek comes literally hovering up the stairs. I think they actually addressed it right there. With the Doctor going stairs, and then it comes floating up the stairs. And of course the same thing happens again in 2005, but they thought they were safe from it just by going up the stairs, but then of course there's that moment, elevate.
Elevate.
I'm a Dalek, not an escalator.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a doctor.
Fiona's right. You can make money and still be classified as nonprofit 501c are complicated, and I'm not an accountant. And yeah, that's why I think that what CBS did was malicious and not in good faith. I'll be right back, though. I got to step away for a minute. You guys can talk about
messages. Should be right back.
It's like that.
So I guess we're going to vamp for a little bit because both Jill and Scotford are on away missions.
I've returned to the ship.
Officer on deck.
Heavens, no.
Oh, yes. You're the officer on deck.
Where are we?
Well, you are with Jill gone.
Well, heavens. I'm glad this isn't the mirror universe.
Heavens to Betsy, you're in command.
Is anybody else going to go and check out The Flash?
I don't know. But I am going to see Spider-Man sometime this week.
I have heard rave reviews for it.
I've heard reviews that are on both sides of the coin. I've heard reviews that says it's the best thing ever, and I've heard reviews that said it's the worst thing ever, and I've not heard a lot of in-betweens.
I'm interested in seeing it. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. It's a 2-hour animated film, which is I think is fantastic. Mm-hmm. 2 hours of animated footage.
Yeah, I got it from. Yeah.
A little disappointing though, because it's only part 1. Part 2 won't come out till next year. I think in March. That is Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So a bit of a wait. From what someone told me who might have seen the film, the part 1 might end on of a cliffhanger.
I've heard it's quite a drastic cliffhanger, actually.
They wanted to make it into a trilogy, which is often what they do whenever the first film, Into the Spider-Verse, was so successful. And then, you have this one that came out that's going to act as the Age of Ultron, as it were, and simply just build everything up for the final climactic endgame movie of the trilogy, which is going to be where the cliffhanger segues into. Tried and true. I mean, Empire Strikes Back did it. I mean, let them have it.
For sure. And if you did enjoy Into the Spider-Verse, I don't see any reason why not to see the second one. And I enjoy a little bit of anticipation for the next installment. I'm not a binger. I do enjoy, like, I'm waiting for The Boys to come back. And I like how they release that on a weekly schedule, just so there's anticipation for next week.
I have in the sleeve, I only read it once, but enjoyed it. Issue number one of Spider-Ham.
Ooh.
So whenever Spider-Ham was seen on the screen, of course, I picked that comic book up when I picked up Power Pachyderms, which is an elephant joke theme of the X-Men. Also really funny because they did the Welcome to Die joke cover, much like X-Men #1. And so to see Peter Porker in all of his glory on the big screen is what made me go, hey, get that comic book. I enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that this second film is of the same vein. I will give it its fair shake as a result. But yeah.
I'm sort of a traditionalist when it comes to Spider-Man, and so my Spider-Man stories are usually about Peter Parker as the front and center hero. But I know that there is a fan base for Miles Morales, and people seem to be digging the new movie. I found the first one just sort of be enjoyable cotton candy, but I forgot it shortly after it was over.
I mean, to be
visually
fair,
dynamic, absolutely, no argument.
To be
And
fair,
I'm with you, Raquel, in terms of having a 2-hour animated movie, because there's so much more you can do. I don't feel sort of robbed by CGI stuntmen because the whole thing is animated, and I get to be taken to a world that I wouldn't be able to see in live action.
Right.
But, yeah.
You can do so much more in animation that you would do in live action.
Well, and interestingly, like I am also deficient in my my anime knowledge. I would like to very much check out Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Very good.
Yeah.
Getting the fucking robot, Shinji. Getting the robot.
Well, and the Battleship Yamato, absolutely. Like, those are the ones, although they're the thing that's daunting about those is just that there's so much of them. And as you guys were talking about Futurama, I've dropped in and out of Futurama, and I've enjoyed it for what it was. But in terms of a long form storytelling, I don't know how much of an investment. Like, if I picked up a box set, I would absolutely blaze through it the same way I did with Cowboy Bebop.
Scotty, you're sending me a Iron Man case, and I do have those on Blu-ray and DVD.
Yeah.
But I have an extra box set of season 1 of Futurama that is just gathering dust in my vault. So as soon as I get your address from when you send that to me, I'll reciprocate with Futurama, the
Which
first
season?
box set. The first box set, as in DVD circa 2002.
I do have that one myself, actually. Thank you, though. I do appreciate the offer. And as soon as I get myself some postage, you will be the proud owner of another Iron Man mask. So,
I've already where that's popping off. I've already come up for a use for it.
Oh, nice. Good. I'm
It
glad.
will be worn by my Cthulhu plush.
Ooh. I'm glad it already has a home. Then I will expedite its journey. Thank you.
It's no problem. I told you as soon as I had an idea for it that I would run it by you.
Thank you.
And
but again, I don't offer these things with hopes of reciprocation. It's just I know you are a fan, and
but I'm an old fashioned sort that wants
Sure.
to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. I'm not the kind of person that's going to be like, oh, I'm going to take it home and burn it. No, I'm gonna.
What are you burning? What's happening?
Apparently, I'm burning the midnight oil. How are you doing?
Oh, great! I'm doing wonderful. No, what were you talking about?
We were talking about box sets and sending them through snail mail.
Oh,
snail mail. I don't really think people. I don't think most people these days really use snail mail or email that often. Very more. I mean, they still use it, but not as much as they did.
I pay my rent through snail mail, so
oh wow,
and have for 20 years.
Well, there's that. I mean, actual letters. I mean,
you know what? Don't make me. I'll make pen pals out of all of you. I think I won't. I haven't had a pen pal in 30 years. Well, let's do it. Let's do it.
I am always. Well, there used to be, because I'm older. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know the relative ages of anybody here. So, but like, I used to get excited when I would get mail, and now, unfortunately, it's just bills. So
yeah, now it's bills.
Right.
Bills and
coupons.
holiday cards. Celebration cards. That's pretty
if anybody
much
gives
it.
me their address, they're gonna get holiday cards. So like I'm this Christmas coming up, I'm sending holiday cards to Gary Ambrosia and
I'm not thinking that far ahead. Like we're still in summer here. Like don't get me down with the cold winter now.
Yeah, the most you can expect from a personal snail mail is holiday cards or invitations.
You want to talk about Christmas in July? I'm all for it. If I don't want to go that far ahead.
The sun is beating down, but don't let that make you frown. And about 7 months to go, we'll pray that there'll actually be snow.
Not likely in Texas.
Oh, not likely here either. Don't get me. I live in the swamps of Kentucky. I'm a country boy.
We haven't had snow here since 2017, and before that it was 2004.
Yeah, but then whenever you guys do get snow, it's absolutely horrific.
It's a pandemonium. Our entire state shuts down. Nothing works and nobody works.
You guys need to get a fleet of ice trucks.
Yeah, no, we never learn our lesson. We encounter the same problems every time. We have 100 people stuck on the side of the road who don't know how to drive on ice.
I
definitely
feel with you with that, Jill, especially when I live in Texas. Yeah, not a lot of people know how to really well, people live in the South don't really know how to to combat the weather conditions that we people up north have. They're just not used to it, really.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's why our gas stations will freeze. Our gas pumps will freeze. Even at just 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Arabic Sandra has a question. Does Samurai Jack count as sci-fi anime?
Samurai Jack, to me, in my opinion,
no,
it's Western.
It's Western cartoon, so no, it's not.
Straight up answer, no.
I like Dalek a lot.
Yeah, Dalek. See, we have two people. We have Raquel here, who's like, and the Dalek's like, no.
Well, there's the age-old argument. Me and Dalek. No, is Avatar: The Last Airbender anime? No. Is anime inspired? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's anime inspired for sure, but is it anime? No, not because it wasn't because it was commissioned by an American studio, and sure maybe the animation was done overseas, but overall but overall, it's still a Western cartoon, so it's not
Right.
It's not true anime.
No.
And Samurai, and it's kind of the same with Samurai Jack. I mean, Samurai Jack was originally created by Tartakovsky, and he's not Japanese. So
Tartakovsky is Russian.
There's a lot of stuff on Cartoon Network that has some Japanese influence, like the Powerpuff Girls is influenced
there's a lot of
by.
stuff like that.
It's influenced by Batman '66, but also Japanese kaijus.
The season
that's very
finale,
true.
and in my opinion, the true series finale. Now we're going into passionate things that I really, really enjoy. Of Dexter's Laboratory, last week's was by far the best way a Western animation could pay homage to anime, because up to this point, Dexter in his little neighborhood in America was a genius. He has Area 51 under his house. His laboratory is basically like a cyberpunk city running multiple experiments 24/7, even when he's not there. Okay?
That's
he
true.
Has exosuits. He has a giant mech. He is the tip of the spear as far as boy geniuses are concerned. So when he goes into a foreign exchange program with the land of the rising sun, he finds out that everything that he's ever built is obsolete to these average kids that just like to, quote, make models. And
man, that reminds me of the time where I used to be the one who answered all.
I don't remember.
No, because I
don't remember that episode.
No, last but not least.
No, but I know that feeling though. I took physics too.
Yeah.
And I used to be the one to answer all the questions, but then all these kids from UT or some other school came to take the summer class, and they steamrolled over me.
Yeah. So whenever Dexter goes over there and he's playing in the playground, and you see these kids playing with toys, and Dexter's like, "What are you all doing over there?" And the kids are like, "Oh, we're just playing with our models." And then, of course, Dex, being the American that he is, puts his hands in his pockets, leans down with a smirk, and says, "I have been known to make models myself. Would you like to see one of mine?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, go for it." So he deploys the backpack exo that he used in the dodgeball episode and did a slam dunk of a basketball into the goal. And the kids are just like yawning. They're like, "Okay, yeah, that's cute." And then they actually bring like anime-esque exosuits out with like the whole like particle manifestation, the da-da-da-da-da-da, and like drilling through the ground and shit. And they're like doing like their fucking karate poses like Ultraman. And Dex is just like, "Okay, motherfuckers, I got you." So he brings out the DXR. He brings out the giant robot. And then the kids are, again, yawning, and they show off their mechs. They show off their Gundam-sized mechs, only for the joke to happen when the teacher comes out in a bang doll mech that towers over all of them, that's now wagging her fingers going, "You have been very naughty boys, bringing your toys to school. How dare you?" And I'm just sitting over here going, "Oh my God, this is how it would go." This is how it would go. and it's really, really good. They bring in Monkey. They bring in the Justice Friends.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, they fight this giant kaiju called Badaxtra because Dex puts in Pez on a keyboard on his console for the DXR. And so the head comes up and he has a bunch of cluster bombs locked in the neck slot like Pez candy. And I thought that was funny. And he fires them into a volcano and releases this ancient kaiju called Badaxtra. And he basically has to like get his family involved to operate a Voltron-sized mech back home to defeat it. So his parents find out he has a laboratory.
Oh, how does he deal with that?
Yeah, and then like Mandar comes up and he's like, "Out of the way, peons! I'm the best there ever was. Look at me now. I'm going to destroy the monster with my great death ray." And so he rolls up in like his like tank, and he's like firing this death ray at it, like Thunderbirds-esque graphic, like death ray at it. And the monster's just eating it and growing bigger. And Dexter's like, he's getting stronger, man. You need to stop. Like, it's like, it's the best, absolute best episode of Dexter's
Well,
Laboratory.
that was just like watching the episode. Thank you.
Thank you, my Mandark, and therefore, yeah, another voice that you thought I would never be able to do.
As far as the only part of that I remember is literally the end of it. That's all I remember. I don't remember the rest of it. And I watched Dexter's Lab a lot as a kid.
Dexter's
Lab, fantastic show.
When you watch it as an adult, it has that Futurama vibe in it, in which you see a lot of pop culture references and science fiction references just sprinkled throughout. It is
and it's a funnier
wine.
thing when Dexter's Laboratory is your introduction to science fiction.
It was in a lot of ways my introduction to some science fiction, especially like with the Thunderbirds. Whenever he had a starfighter that was disguised as the chimney and the whole left side of his house, and it transforms into a jet fighter just to shoot down Santa Claus. It's like, oh my God, there's a freaking military vehicle in plain sight, like the Thunderbirds. It's nuts.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Dexter too.
The holiday episode where Dexter shoots down Santa Claus and shaves his beard, thinking that it's his dad.
Pop culture curator.
Yeah, I got a autograph from Christine Kavanaugh. So
hello. I'm jealous.
She came by Corpus Christi.
Super jazzed at Pop Stop.
Wow.
Yeah, hello, pop culture curator. Thank you.
Pop culture curator, how's the recovery? I know that there was a particularly novice practitioner of sorts under your care that, well, for lack of a better word, they were novice.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh,
hopefully not.
That's not so good at all.
They were very novice. They wanted to not to put any Limelight's names or spoiler alerts, but
I don't know that pop culture wants to talk about his.
We'll keep it to the sideline.
Let's let him if he wants to.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that whenever they do come back, that it's time to finger paint. That's all I'll say.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
That's not a good thing in the medical profession on any level.
I just wanted to say welcome back, sir. It's good to
also
see you in the chat. I'm glad that your recovery is going well.
Per request from the Admiral, Saving Star Trek will hold off until the end of shore leave. You'll most likely find me there.
And this won't be on for too much longer. So
we were just getting to have fun.
No, we can keep having a little bit of fun, but I do love when Fiona says the only redeeming quality to Star Trek 2009 was it let me know to avoid all the subsequent filth.
Should we focus to chat roundup then for this last leg of the journey and not go off on any tangents?
Well,
how much time do you have?
All right.
I think about 25 minutes.
Yeah, chat roundup time. What do you think?
That sounds good.
Ed, go ahead. Well, see, I thought it was just innocent popcorn, like it didn't matter movie because it wasn't it was in a different universe, and I thought whatever, but it was so much more sinister than that because it ends up leading to Kurtzman Trek. Jim says all my Star Trek fan films is based on TOS and soon TNG this fall.
Nice.
Oh, great.
I look forward
That's
to the
good
TNG stuff, Jim. Not that I'm not enjoying the TOS stuff. It's all good.
Yeah. Donnie Pearson says, I can understand that, Matt G. Despite my casual enjoyment. Enjoy what you enjoy with confidence.
Bingo. I subscribe to your newsletter, sir.
James Caserta says, the nerd boat.
The nerd boat.
Aravic says, I used to love getting my Star Trek fan club magazines in the snail mail.
See?
I miss getting National Geographic in the snail mail.
Maggie says, I did have a period 6/11. I hardly went to the movies at all. In late 2011, I was like, I guess I'm retired from the theaters. Then in 2012, I had my cinematic rebirth.
Nice. There's just been nothing really to draw me back to the theaters. I think the last time I went to a movie theater was for No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh, no, Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick, I think.
Top Gun. Oh, yes, that's good. Good stuff.
Next up is Indy. Next up is Indy.
Is that when you seen that?
Some matinee with my dad at some point, probably within the first couple of weeks.
Did you see Indy 5?
It's not out yet.
Oh, I know you were leading up to it. I didn't know when it was coming out.
End of June 30th, I think.
On June 30th. Okay.
Wow.
Set my square riggings up for that particular raid. Let fly, mainsail, all guns hot.
Pretty incredible how the Stream Elements knows exactly whose link to post. Pop Culture Curator appears in the chat, and it pops up with his link. Great stuff. So,
yeah.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention that I'm looking forward to is Dark Mirror. Wait a minute. Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. Where's that about?
Oh no!
All right, put your pants back on.
I know they quickly disappeared for some reason. Holy shit! You're gonna love it.
It's a modern anthology series, sort of akin to Twilight Zone, but
All right.
it is an episodic television show that if you're in a good mood and you'd like to get rid of it, watch an episode of Black Mirror. It's excellent science fiction, but it is sort of 10 minutes into the future, and your fears of technology today, they are presented in horrifying realism.
Yeah,
so it's great.
Would you like this cyberpunk dystopia delivered to you in episodic format weekly? Then watch Black Mirror.
I think it's on Netflix now.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I think there's just 5 or 6 new episodes, but I'm gonna go check them out.
No, they're all like an hour to an hour and a half long.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one whole subscription to Netflix just for that because I want to support it financially. Because it is a good series. It deserves it.
My life sucks and I have a computer. Every Black Mirror episode ever. Carry on.
And it's got John Hamm in an episode.
I have a computer.
Oh, that sounds very.
All right.
Somebody muted their background sounds. Oh, well, he did.
Oh, that's Jarvis telling the time. It's 4 here, which means it's 3 there.
Oh, great. Oh, that's true. That I did miss some chat before, so I'm gonna go back up and see if there was something.
That's why I mentioned roundup. Time to do the chat roundup.
You're right.
Like I said, your wrenchdom has rubbed off on me, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
That's a great thing. If you ever want to post someone's link in the chat, who you see somebody in the chat and their link hasn't been posted or something, I don't mind promoting people who are visiting my channel. Or just people I love, like how I post R.M. Briggs' Patreon. She writes some really good science fiction, and she also does something in the vein of Twilight Zone with her short stories. And she's making a new book, so I can't wait to read that.
I was talking with Hungry about quantum information manipulation, and I know that she does a lot of matter state manipulation with some of her higher brow sci-fi elements in her stories, and I'm wondering if she has that in the queue for, like, you know, truly making an explanation for godlike abilities. Like,
well,
I may
she does
actually
explore
send that
that.
to her on Patreon. I may send her like a premise to her on Patreon and be like, "Have you ever considered quantum information manipulation, rewinding time in a way that's not going back to the past?"
She does explore something like that.
Yeah,
with her aliens.
Mm-hmm. Her aliens are doing it. I don't know if that's her end game, but I kind of hope it is.
I'm not sure, but if anybody's curious, there's some good reads, and they're all the stories are in the same universe. So even though they're all their own separate stories,
it's a chronicle. And it's a chronicle of different people from different points in the timeline experiencing the same events.
I think the funnest thing is that each story is written from that person's perspective. So each different one has a different writing style.
I can't do first-person writing styles, but she pulls it off beautifully. Like I can't make the narrator be the protagonist. I've never really.
I don't see that often, and it's pretty neat.
It's a lost art, but she does it very well.
Yeah, unless you don't happen to like that character, and then you're like, what?
Then you're like, I don't care what you think. Get on to the next scene already.
Oh, I did. Oh, Donnie Pearson says I did my what if videos and pictures across YouTube and DeviantArt. Oh, she's got what if content. Interesting.
Donnie
is very creative, artistically, musically inclined.
Donnie, I have a question to ask you, my friend. What do you think of the Battle for the Grid 2D fighter that came out for Power Rangers? Do you like the concept of Lord Draken? Let me know, because I kind of enjoyed the whole Lord Draken endgame with the grid being compromised and all these different Rangers fighting him from all these different like timelines and stuff. Because, you know, basically Draken is Tommy, and he steals everybody's morphers. He kills everybody and steals their morphers and gets more and more access to the grid. So to the point that even people like Lord Zed are given pause and going, okay, you went too far. It's a comic book series that evolved into that video game, and it does need some work as like a fighter, but the story is pretty good.
I don't know. When I was 7, I was just running around being a pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl! I figured you were a Kimberly.
I was.
You were a Kimberly. I was a Billy. I was a Billy. I was Blue Ranger.
The Blue Ranger, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. Well, and none of the girls wanted to play Power Ranger, so I didn't have to fight to be Kimberly either. So I was good to go.
Didn't have to fight a lot of putties. That sucks. Putties are fun. I think I have just about as many putties action figures as I do Stormtrooper action figures in my set piece shelves. I need to show those off one day.
Joseph Dredd says in Futurama, Nixon replaced his body with a robot body, and that's how he got a new set of term limits.
That's how he got his 3rd term, but he's on to his 5th or 6th.
Okay, then that explains 4 terms. How does he get the 5th and 6th term?
I'm Richard Nixon. It's the headless body of Agnew. Shut up.
Okay.
No, he was telling Agnew to shut up because he goes.
No, I know, but I was just pretending.
My Nixon is usually hit or miss, and I've had a few glasses of mead, so it's probably more on the miss. Carry on. Chad found up. Sorry, I keep interrupting. I'm so sorry.
No, you're not interrupting. You're doing fine.
Okay.
You're filling in the spaces. And I think we're pretty much well through most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie says It's fun. You should try it. See, I don't know what's fun. Oh, right. Maggie just loves going to the theater. One time he rented out the theater, and if you'd rent it out, you can put whatever you want on the screen, like whatever movie or whatever. And apparently he put Doomcock YouTube videos, and it says that it's really good on the big screen. I've never tried that.
Well, I have a home theater in my living room. So if I really want to watch Doomcock on YouTube, and I really want to, if it's like an episode that is popcorn poppy worthy, yeah, I'll throw that up there.
Yeah, that's cool. Susan Dolan has a question. Has anybody seen the Thanos meme where Thanos is told John Wick survived the snap, but his puppy didn't? Thanos' face turned into a shack in
That
purple.
is an older meme, Susan Dolan, but it checks out and is saved on multiple phones that are no longer connected to the internet. Yes, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Thanos is like, oh shit, I pissed off John Wick. The dog died in the snap. I'm a dead man. If there's any normal human with a particular set of skills that isn't Liam Neeson that could take on the likes of Thanos, it is John Wick. He'll find a way to kill that guy. He will find a way.
And there you go. I think we did it.
Hooray! We did it. Does that
Susan,
mean I get my medical license, maybe?
Did you complete your training?
Well, it depends. Do you call 6 weeks of night school training?
I don't know. Mark Harkness says, lucky you. I was 5 years old and my folks took us to see Jaws, and my older sister decided to get a record of the music. I didn't dare dangle my feet off the couch.
I wouldn't either.
Wes Cagle said, if I rented out an entire theater, I'd have them play Blazing Saddles, since they'll
good
never
one.
play that in
Mel
the
Brooks.
theater.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, good choice.
You are a cultured man from a civilized time, and I applaud you, sir.
That'd be interesting. Getting to see Blazing Saddle in a theater full of people and just see what the reaction is. That would be fantastic. And again, it's the drought in comedy, because that's the best. Laughing with a bunch of strangers is such a good time. It's unfortunate that it hasn't happened that frequently lately.
There is it used to be like a Jaws ride in Florida, but unfortunately it was closed down.
It was, and there was a Back to the Future one too.
I rode on that one. I rode on the Back to the Future ride. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so jealous. By the time I got there, all that was left was E.T. Weird Home Planet.
They turned it into the Simpsons ride. I was one of the last years of its operations patrons before they turned it into the Simpsons ride. Which, to be fair, the Simpsons ride is also equally fun, but it's no flying DeLorean trying to transport Biff back to the Institute of Future Technologies headed by Doc Brown.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Simpsons ride. It was funny. It was cute, but definitely would have preferred. That's why the DeLorean is next to the Simpsons area. That makes
it
sense.
is, yeah. And the whole joke, and they had the Doc Brown getting kicked out by Krusty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they have the train there too from Back to Future Part 3.
I did get to see the Rogers locomotive.
But
Rogers number 5 locomotive edited with time equipment.
I think I would like to direct everybody to Bird of Prey 5's channel. He's no doubtedly started his bed life. Let me see if he has. Usually, yeah. So Bird of Prey 5 is live, and I think he told me Admiral Teague is going to be live. So you guys got nice. Got some choices today on this Friday.
Definitely.
And I want to thank my panel for being here. Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here. I was about to say, when I was still at when I went to Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, I got to ride the Great Movie Ride before it closed down, and now it's Mickey's and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I wish that they didn't really close that down.
Oh, what was the movie ride about?
The Great Movie Ride, all popular films, for example, Alien, Wizard of Oz, Indiana Jones, a plethora of good movies. Yeah.
Okay, that does sound a lot more fun than just Mickey and Minnie. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scotty?
Oh no, I was agreeing. It would be better than Mickey and Minnie, especially you had me at Alien.
I know, me too. I want to ride this ride.
Mhm.
But it's gone now.
Yeah, I know.
Dang it. I missed out.
Mm.
But what do you have going on, Raquel, on your channel?
Me, let's see, later on tonight on my gaming channel, I'll be playing in Gotham Knights. Also, on my main channel, next week on Wednesday, I'll be doing another Hangout stream on my main channel. I might be doing another one this Saturday, but we'll see. But yeah, go check out my 2 channels. Do you need the link for my gaming channel, Jill?
I think so. I haven't
Am
gotten
I
it yet.
sub to your gaming? I
Yeah,
don't think I am. I'm only sub to your main.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I do put it out there, but
Here, I'll give you a wrench.
Let me get it.
Okay, so you've got a wrench now.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, there's my gaming channel in the chat.
Sweet.
Raquel, do you play Xenoverse 2 at all?
No, I do not.
But they have a Kefla now.
And also,
I want to do fisticuffs with your Super Saiyan at some point. Download it. It's a fun
cool.
game.
Also,
Danny.
I do have a gaming Twitter profile. You can follow me on. Here's my gaming Twitter profile.
I didn't know you had a separate profile for your gaming channel.
Yeah, I
I
did.
am subscribed to you. Never mind.
I don't think I'm following you on that one.
Here it is for updates when I'm going live on my gaming channel and gaming stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mark Harkness, what are you self-promoting?
Thank you.
Where you at, buddy?
Yeah, right? What is Mark Harkness self-promoting?
I'm
This
looking
is
up
the time
in
for
the
self-promoting.
I'm looking at the minutes and I don't see any.
You can self-promote if you'd like, Mark.
Yeah,
what's going on
seriously,
with
brother. It's nothing wrong with getting people to know you. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, if you have something to share, if you're in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
we're here.
The chat
We're
is
here
just
together.
as valid, if not more valid, than any of us on the panel. We're
Right.
nothing without you guys.
Yeah, if you guys weren't here, we would just
be
talking.
hanging out on the porch talking to each other instead of entertaining a crowd.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, Raquel, get into Xenoverse a little bit, man. I think you'd like it. Xenoverse.
Oh, okay. Well, I know Fortnite. You can play like Goku or Vegeta.
I have
Fortnite. I have to check those out.
Do you have a Fortnite? Like,
no, I don't. Unfortunately.
Get into Xenoverse and train your time patroller up, and then just join me on some of these fights that I'm going to have. I plan on hosting the Cell games in the near future on there, and hopefully, if it picks up traction,
then I'll be doing this all day. Hello, I'm Mr. Perfect. How's everyone doing? I would hope you're doing well, because here in about a week I'll be destroying your planet.
Yeah, I'm doing really great. Can you tell us more about what you and Tony are doing, all in all.
Hello, I am Mr. Perfect, the ultimate life form, and I'm actually a decent crooner. I did not take this idea from Team 4-Star, I was only inspired by it. On the 25th, I will be hosting a tournament where people can come out and challenge me in a karaoke arena as who's the best crooner of all time. And if nobody defeats me, which I'm totally okay with, I'll probably pop the planet like a zit.
So show me what you got.
Oh yes, show me what you. Oh, you want to hear a little bit now?
Oh, no. I was just making a Rick and Morty.
Has such teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly white.
All right. So what else is going on your channel, Tony?
I have a Black Widow review in the works. I have a time travel video in the works. I'm going to be posting cats with my armor props every Saturday, hopefully as shorts. Because who doesn't like cat videos?
Cats and the internet were made for each other.
Got to get those. You know that YouTube has loosened its stranglehold on how many subscribers and how many watch hours you need.
Oh yeah, they did that. Like, the
yes, which means that Jill, you are like 80 some odd folks away from becoming monetized. So
yeah, that's true, except for the ad revenue part. But that would be the only part missing. But who really cares about that?
For super chats on a stream than any kind of ad revenue. That's
exactly. It's way
like seriously.
Way more fun too.
I saw that you were attempting to have Stream Elements do my thing, and it doesn't show up in the chat. That's particularly odd.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. That's Gary Ambrosia. They want to talk about Gary. I love Gary.
I love Gary too.
But anywho, we may have to do this analog.
I did.
All right. Yeah, your Stream Elements is doing some wackadoo doohickeys. Sunday I have an open panel, much like this, well, open-ish, where we just hang out on the porch and bullshit. And once my Patreon, and I do have a Patreon, gets to 300 subscribers, I'll be unlocking a $3 tier. Right now, there's only a $2 tier. Do you want me to go ahead and get you my Patreon right quick, Jill?
Yeah, if you want to.
All right, let me just fetch it in here. The perks that come with the new intern perk, which is the only perk available. I'm a wrench. I'll just post it myself. But you can save it if you want. What comes with that is you will get a custom voicemail or ringtone. I owe a Beavis and Butthead ringtone to Sean Carter. I owe a Swole Kermit ringtone to my friend Jet from work. But it's only $2 a month. You're buying me a 2-liter of soda, which in turn allows me to put money back to get props and stuff. I want to get a green screen for my videos. I want to be able to do more things live in suit.
And that's kind of fun too, because even if you don't want to actually subscribe, you can buy a ringtone for $2. That's pretty fun.
It's like buying a ringtone, but you're supporting somebody that you know, instead of just going to the Play Store and just buying a random ringtone. And all of them will be professionally curated and made, recorded by yours truly, and voice acted professionally for merely $2. And then your name will be at the end of every scripted video I do. As I grow as a channel and as I get bigger, I will unlock more and more tiers, promotions in Stark Industries. And over time, you're going to see the wasteland of New York become restored and high tech, like with the channel lore. In fact, I'm a little behind on introducing the arch nemesis. I know I advertised that, but it's in the works.
Well,
and I have a
4-day
weekend. I got plenty of time to get some of this stuff done, and I plan to. I'm not just gonna sit and yak in front of the mic all day.
Oh, that's kind of fun too, to do a little bit of that.
It is, and you lose time that way.
And I'm glad you did. I'm glad you decided to lose time today.
Please, I wouldn't miss it. You said shore leave, and I was like, you sold me at shore leave. But anyway, that's what I'm putting down. Hopefully, some of y'all will pick it up. I'm at 217 subscribers now. I had an uptick in likes to 222, but then it went back down to like 213, and I'm like, well, what did I did? And I realized that YouTube was just doing their usual snip, snip here, snip, snip there, and whether you get subs or not, we're always going to make sure that every other one is a bot. You know.
Yeah,
and,
I'm frozen for now, so we'll see when that picks up again. I get frozen for a bit, and then I grow, and then I freeze for a bit. So it just depends what's going on. You just got to keep beating the algo beast.
Right. So plug here, plug there. Whether you advertise, just make sure that you don't overuse your shill. All right, your turn.
Yeah. All right, great. And so then I wanted to ask Dalek451, how are you doing? And what's going on with your channel? Dalek is away from his screen.
Did he fall asleep? Did he fall asleep?
I don't know. I don't think he fell asleep. I think he's just usually around this time he's having dinner. So I will just tell you eating, right? Tea time. Oh, there he is.
Good morning.
Actually, Jill, I'd had my tea before I joined the stream.
Oh, well, that's smart.
Yeah.
So tell me about your channel. We're about to head out and have a Friday.
Well, I haven't really done much on my channel lately. I've been distracted with other things, shall we say.
That's true. But is there anything you want to share?
Exterminate!
I could share about what I usually do is I say I do live streams mainly kind of random ones to talk about anything and everything in pop culture. I sometimes do reviews, and recently I've been doing gaming streams, and I've recently had a few. I've had a couple of ideas for topics I'd like to talk about in future streams. I'm not quite sure when that'll be, but because my channel's very random. I don't really have a set schedule for it. Maybe
so if you're subscribed to Dalek451, make sure you hit the bell because you never know when he's going live.
Yeah. If you just go subscribe to my channel, do turn on the bell because I could go live at any. I just go live whenever I feel like it. Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So subscribe there, and it's a lot of fun. They're free open topic streams, like this one. And so there's his channel.
Thank you, Jill.
And Scotty, do you have something you want to share?
No, not really. Aside from the Thursday streams that we do about Quantum Leap, aside from that, I think Kat's going to be reviewing over on the Phantasmagorium the Indiana Jones movies coming up on the release of Dial of Destiny. But as for myself, it's just pretty much hanging out with Jill talking about Quantum Leap and obviously the original series streams that you do on Tuesdays and whatever happens on a Friday.
Right. Whatever happens on a Friday. Fridays are always fun.
Yeah, they are.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody on the panel. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Y'all are phenomenal. And I hope you all have a wonderful, pleasant, fun, and exciting Friday and weekend.
Outstanding.
Indeed.
I'll see you at the Hollow Earth, Jill. Same time, same place, same great channel.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much to Wes Cagle, the AI show. And everybody who is here. Indy Tiger, Franco Walker, Susan Dolan, Donnie Pearson, Matt G. Man, so many great people. And Pop Culture Curator was here also. It would be smarter if I wrote these down instead of having to scroll up. James Caserta, Anonymous.
maybe you should do what you do for other people and just like give bits and notes to the host. Which I mean, we would do that for you as you do for other people.
Oh, that's true, but
that's a lot of work.
That is. Fiona, thank you so much, Fiona M, for being here. I always love all of your comments are always the best.
Fiona, you and I must coalesce. I want to debate and cogitate with you. Pick your brain, as it were.
And thank you, Ervik Sonder. And Lemon Pie. Sorry, there was a ice machine going. I didn't want it to sound.
What's this thing called audio quality?
Of course, Bird of Prey 5 is streaming right now. So I'm going to go say hi to him in a minute. Joseph Dredd is here. Skogly was here. I don't know why. I miss Skogly. I miss saying hi to Skogly. Oh my god.
Skogly only had like 2 chats during the entire run of the minutes.
That must be how I missed him. I don't know how that happened. Let's see. I'm just Gorilla's Random Thoughts, of course. He's at work, or he would have been here.
Yeah, he went to work. That's why he went dark.
Yeah, he did.
Darn work.
And Admiral Teague was here earlier. He'll be streaming soon too, just right after this.
I'll be catching him on that. Most likely in the chat, hopefully on panel. I'm down to talk for a couple more hours.
And if you like Star Trek fan films and CGI or puppies, check out Jim's Landscape.
I want to see Jim take his foray into other like ships, because I have an idea, my Merv Griffin idea engine coming to life once again, and really like franchising what we do as a community. Like, imagine making custom ships for your Starfleet engagements, and then getting everybody's fans over, like on Admiral Teague, where everybody has a ship in his fleet. That's his like channel lore. And we just get like all those ships together as like an opening video of like all the different fleets being led by the Wilbur in formation.
Yeah, I know that's the strange thing. He keeps trying to make me a captain, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, I'm communications
You're the captain
officer.
of your own ship in his fleet. When you're on the bridge, I think you're.
But I was already given a commission. I like being communications officer on the Clobby Prize.
Mm-hmm.
So but I do get that if I'm on his channel, it's a bit of a different story.
I'm the captain of the NC 1769 USS Potts, which means that I am in Potts at all times whenever I'm flying on maneuvers. Don't judge.
Oh my goodness. No, I won't. I won't kink shame.
Did you like that though? Did you like that? That's pretty funny, right?
Yeah, it is. Thank you to Arepa Bell for being here. Also, Dadman Walking was here. How did I miss saying hello?
Yeah, I responded to my.
I hope somebody said hi to him, because I think I missed it. But I'm glad you were here. And also Eugene Bird definitely is super awesome. And TQ Doom also. It's really always interesting to go back and see everybody who is here. Susan Dolan, Edge of Time, Joseph Dredd, Mark Harkness.
Speaking of which, I need to get on the horn with Fed for Hire. I promised Susan Dolan last night during my one-man show, my little variety show, that I would get with Fed for Hire to actually get some artistic representation of the Cyber Bobcats and the Fleet of Owls.
Oh yeah, if you need some artwork done, Fed for Hire is your man.
Yeah, the squid, and of course that bit happens every Friday, but we kind of sort of need like a montage photo, like a mural of just like everybody.
And Anonymous says, if I were off work on Friday, I'd love to come back on, but work is work. Oh yeah, if you ever are off on Friday, just send me a message on Twitter DMs, and you'll be able to join the show. That would be so cool. Haven't talked to you in a bit. But for now, I have to say goodbye. I'll see you guys next time. I hope you have a wonderful Friday catching Bird of Prey 5 or Admiral Teague, and later on Doomcock, or however you choose to spend your Friday. I hope it's fun and you have a good time. And on Tuesday, I'll be reviewing the original series episode I Mud. So I'll leave you guys with that preview, and I'll let you get on with your Friday. Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Later.
Doodles!
Captain's log, stardate 4513.3. After having been taken over by an android, we are entering orbit around a planet which has never been charted. Who sent you?
You should refer to me as Mud the First. I've had 500 of them made up to attend me.
I love you. However, I hate you.
What a shame you're not real.
We are programmed to function as human females.
You are? This place is even better than Leningrad.
Scotty's dead. He had too much happiness.
The fact is, I've taken over your whole ship. There's nothing you can do about it.
Now you're sounding like Spock. If you're gonna get nasty, I'm gonna leave.
Captain, I'm...
Uhura, you're the only one who can do it. I'll be right there.
Yes, sir.
Conversation was disjointed. His thoughts, a little foggy, unrelated.
What can I do for you, Jim?
I said, give me the brandy.